Hello, everyone. Welcome to Reaction Shots for February 2021. I am, of course, joined by Michael Huber.
Hello.
And I am joined by Tokyo Slim and Matthew Walden.
Hello.
We got the all-star team here today. Thrilled about it.
Excellent to see you, gentlemen.
Strap
Likewise.
in for a 15-hour-long episode of Reaction Shots, everybody.
I love you all.
Yeah, this is going to be a blast.
You too.
You too, Tokyo Slim. But before we get into hidden gems, which is what we're talking about today, all four of us have compiled a list of hidden gems. We're going to go through all the comments and the patrons' hidden gems first, and then get into our own. But before we jump into that, what have you seen lately, Michael Huber?
Me start?
I started with you this time. I don't usually do that. I don't usually start with you.
I'm starting off hot. I'm so pumped Tokyo Slim is here. This one I'm about to serve up. Last night finished season 1 of Warrior.
Ooh.
Warrior, dude. Based on some Bruce Lee story that he tried to get made back in the day. And it never happened. It never went down. He didn't get to make it. So this is based off Bruce Lee's work. And it's set in 1870s San Francisco and follows this Chinese American guy, dude. And he gets caught up with the freaking like Chinese gangs, dude. There's like a political element. Dude, I'm learning all about like Chinese slave labor at the time, which is like, they're obviously they're exploiting it. Just like when minimum wage went down, like the Irish coming to work. The show is freaking amazing. There's 2 seasons on HBO Max. It was a Cinemax original. I don't know where it stands now that like HBO Max is a thing.
If it's anything like Infinity Train, they're probably not going to keep it going.
That would suck. Yeah, I finished season 1. There's like one more season, dude. I freaking obsessed.
I'm glad you liked it because I saw it and I was this close to watching it, and I was like, I watched something else instead. I don't remember what it was, but
dude, it's there. There's no rush.
I started Watchmen. That's what it was. I started Watchmen.
Nice.
Yeah, Watchmen is sick.
We'll get into that.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to mention, Ubisoft?
Yeah. So there was Warrior and 2 other things. Lord of the Rings rewatch. It had been quite a while since I did Lord of the Rings.
It's easy breezy rewatch.
Easy breezy.
Extended or normal?
Oh, gotta go extended.
Yeah, okay.
Gotta do it.
That's like an 11-hour enterprise.
Easy breezy 11-hour watch.
It took a while. It took like a week. We hadn't done it like fully since we got married, which needed to be rectified. Lord of the Rings trilogy. Fellowship, still the best. Still my favorite.
It's so good.
And then lastly, Bridgerton on Netflix.
Oh yeah, you hopped into Bridgerton,
Is
huh?
a freaking 10 out of 10. Check that out if you're into shipping.
Did you finish the season of Bridgerton?
I did.
Okay, because I saw Bridgerton and I loved it until a certain moment, and then I was like, and then I bailed out really quickly, like pulled the ripcord. I was like, I'm out emotionally. But you know, it's kind of a spoiler. I don't want to get into too much into it. But you know, like, probably about 2/3 through, there's some like conflict that happens, and I thought the show didn't handle it in a way that I liked, because I was like super into the main characters. They had a lot of chemistry. They're really kind of cute, and I was like into the period setting because I'm getting older now, and now that kind of shit just appeals to me. Give me some old like Victorian stuff with some costumes and some like romantic dramedy. I love it. But then it gets kind of like it gets a little twisted at a certain moment.
It does.
Like, ooh.
That's why I love it. It's high stakes.
I almost wish
reminds me
got
of
more twisted. It kind of like straddles this weird line. Yeah.
Totally. It reminds me of like Downton Abbey meets Gossip Girl meets To All the Boys I Loved Before. Like those 3 things colliding. It's that.
All right.
So if you like any of those, You should absolutely watch the show. It's amazing. I'm obsessed.
We'll have a spoiler chat on Bridgerton sometime, and then I'll let my full opinions be known.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like,
we have a show called Spoiler Mode. If you and Huber want to do a Bridgerton one, I'm sure you can.
It will be quite contentious.
2/3 of the way through, I'm like trying to remember, and it's like, okay. Yeah, dude.
We'll leave it for the viewers to enjoy or not enjoy.
Yeah.
Cool, Tokyo Slim, what have you seen lately?
I did say I started watching Watchmen, the HBO show. I'm at like 6 episodes in right now, and I'm enjoying it. It's great. I don't really have much to say that hasn't been said a million times by people who have watched it before I got there. So far, so good. Also, I don't want to steal Ian's thunder, but I also watched a movie that Ian may have watched recently. Are you going to bring up Synchronic, or should I?
We can both bring it up.
Okay.
I also watched Synchronic. Go for it.
From some of my favorite indie directors, Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, who did Resolution, Spring, The Endless, and now Synchronic, and who are currently working on shooting a couple episodes of Moon Knight for Marvel.
Oh shit. That's cool.
They're kind of like, low budget indie sci-fi kind of, great. Like I've met them before briefly, and as much as you can get to know somebody from just meeting them briefly, they seem like great guys. And their movies are exceptionally interesting to me and well done, and they make the most out of the budgets that they do have. Synchronic has Anthony Mackie and Jamie Dornan in it, and Katie Aselton.
Shit, dude! I just watched The Fall with Jamie Dornan, Tokyo Slim.
I gotta finish
oh my
that
god,
show.
he's intense.
Oh my god, it was insane.
He's so messed up.
It was insane. The ending just did things to me. It was not good.
So
I think I only saw season
handsome.
1. Oh yeah, he's great. He was just in the episode of Stir Crazy that I just edited for Comedy Central the other day.
Synchronic is funny. They mentioned, I don't remember whether I read a thing or it was something weird, but they mentioned that both their leads were so handsome. They didn't want that to distract from the story, so they used the worst possible. They top-lit everybody and made them kind of scruffy looking, and made sure that people would believe that Anthony Mackie and Jamie Dornan were just regular dudes just walking around in New Orleans being EMTs or whatever. Don't look too good. You can't be too handsome. Nobody will believe this.
Well, that's what we do on reaction shots, all 4 of us. That's why we have this weird lighting, because otherwise we'd knock you all out.
Yeah. I have a key light and a fill light.
I distract people by putting things in the background. So.
Yeah. Synchronic was cool. I've only seen The Endless. I haven't seen Spring or Resolution, but I loved The Endless. I think I liked The Endless more than this.
I think I did.
But this
too.
one was fun. It's
Spring is really cool though. I think you'd like it. It's kind of body horror-ish. So.
Ooh, yeah, I gotta check it out. I might have a couple of body horror movies in my hidden gems.
Nice.
No. I actually have all of those movies on my hidden gems list.
All the body horror?
No, all the Benson and Moorhead.
Because
people should
I always
see
hear
them.
rumblings of those. Yeah, I haven't watched those.
You gotta watch The Endless, dude. You'd love it.
Well, I want to watch the first
brotherly
ones because I know
vibes,
they're
dude.
all secretly connected, not so secretly anymore. I know that.
Synchronic and Spring aren't. Synchronic isn't.
I think Spring and Endless and maybe one other thing.
Resolution and Endless are for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
I haven't seen Spring, so I don't know. Anything else, Tokyo?
I think that's it.
Nice.
Matthew Walden.
Oh, it's my
What have you
turn.
seen lately? Yeah.
It's my turn in the hot seat. All right. Well, let me start off with a Huber recommendation, because they always hit. If he recommends a movie and I watch it, I like it.
Yes.
Sound of Metal was so
yes,
good.
Dude.
Sound of Metal was so good. And the thing about that movie is I'm jaded and cynical, and I shouldn't be. I saw talk of that movie and some pictures, and I was like, oh, is this going to be some kind of sappy kind of like exploitative movie about someone with disabilities, because you picture something like Wayne's World. When Wayne gives the speech at the end of the movie for his Oscar speech, he's like, I never learned to read. I was worried that Sound of Metal might be that. Of course it's not. Huber's got great taste. It wouldn't be that. And it's so good. It's about like a drummer for a heavy metal band, and he starts to lose his hearing. And he goes to meet up with a deaf community who kind of help him adjust to being deaf. And it was a really cool existential story that was very restrained, a lot more restrained than I expected it to be. The acting was great. All the supporting cast. There's this guy at the halfway house who's his counselor.
Yes.
Who's like, this Vietnam vet who is just like the nicest human being. Kind of has like vibes of Willem Dafoe and Florida Project. We're just like, dude, this is such a nice guy. He just cares about everybody. And it's a great movie. I highly recommend it. It did everything right, and it left me feeling like I could relate a lot to this guy's life, even though my life was completely different. It does a good job of making it kind of universal. Of like,
I'm like scared to watch it because I'm afraid it'll be just because the idea of that sounds so terrible to me. Like losing your ability to do the thing you love to do, it's so tragic just inherently. And so
I think everybody can relate to that fear.
The feeling of like that exact feeling. Totally.
And it's like, what do you do in response to that as a human? And it's cool. It's great. Very restrained, nice movie. I left feeling good, even though it's like a heavy movie. Yeah. Leaves you feeling good. So that was a big thumbs up. I also saw in response to maybe Bridgerton. I know we talked about this briefly, Ian. I'd gone off this thing from Bridgerton where I was like kind of bummed out just about how they handled some of the issues near the end of Bridgerton. And then I saw Promising Young Woman, the new Carey Mulligan movie. I know, Ian, you saw it, and I don't think you were like as enraptured with it as I was. Which is fine, but I was enraptured with it.
I got parasited by you, kind of, whereas like you were like goatee of the like Modi, like loved it, and so I was expecting. Just,
I did hype it up,
and then I watched it. and I was like, yeah, this is good.
I'm sorry for hyping up Parasite so much.
It's okay.
Well, Parasite's good too, but yeah,
Parasite's incredible. Parasite's incredible.
I wanted to see this, Matt, really bad right before COVID. It was about to come out. COVID came out because, it just looked good. I remember the trailer of this being really good. I don't usually like watch or pay attention to trailers, but for whatever reason, I'd seen that trailer in the theater like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, dude, that movie looks fucking good.
I feel like it lives up to the trailer. It's got a lot of cool style.
Connie Britton hype too.
It's directed by Emerald Fennell, who she plays Camilla on The Crown. If anybody watches The Crown, there's this character named Camilla who King George has his little side thing with. She's the writer and director of Pretty Young Woman. She's also the showrunner for Killing Eve. So this lady is just like super talented. And the movie, I feel like the movie does a lot of things where it kind of denies you the satisfaction that a revenge movie usually has. And a lot of revenge movies, like something terrible usually happens to a woman in a revenge movie. That's the like arc that they usually go through, and the woman goes to get revenge, and then usually the bad guys are punished, and you kind of leave feeling like, okay, well, maybe in the world of this movie the score has been evened, but in the world at large the score on like people and women especially being assaulted is not even. Like, this is still a huge problem in the world. So it's kind of dissatisfying for me when I watch a typical revenge movie to leave with that uneasy feeling. And this movie almost like leans into not giving you the satisfaction you typically get from the movie. And I think it leaves you feeling a little heavier, wrestling with the issues as a result. And I have like a love-hate relationship with the genre, because I think the genre could be really cool, especially if like, I mean, not to get too personal, but if you've had some terrible things happening to you, seeing some badass lady go get revenge can be like, go do it. Like, it can be very cathartic. So that genre is appealing, but I feel like the genre is like landmines. It's always messing up.
Peppermint, dude. Trash movie.
Is that that's the South Korean movie, or am I thinking of something else?
No, Jennifer Garner.
That's the Jennifer Garner one, yeah.
Classic revenge movie. It's so bad.
That's what I like about Promising Young Woman is like it plays with your expectations in really interesting ways, and like even within the movie itself, it sets up certain expectations of their characters, and then kind of like slowly, like that's the tension of like, okay, well, how far is she pushing this, you know? And it's a really interesting exercise, and then like tonally, it's fun. I like it because it's a really hard thing to do a dark comedy about this kind of subject matter while also doing like kind of a send up of like rom-coms, sort of like
especially with the casting. You have a lot of like rom-com people. Like there's this guy from the New Girl, Schmidt is in it.
Schmidt's is it Adam Brody too, right?
There's a couple of like charming, handsome guys who show up.
And it is pretty wild that it just like plays with that.
Nice.
Yeah, so big thumbs up for me. That was my favorite thing I've seen recently. I really enjoyed it. Carey Mulligan's great, and it's super dark, but you feel okay for laughing. Like it'll have like the most horrible things happening on screen, and somehow they'll magically get away with these dark jokes. Where you're like, I have to admit, it's funny, just because like you trust the director that they're handling the subject well enough that you kind of have permission to laugh. So yeah, I loved it. Nice. That's me.
That's you? Okay. I saw Synchronic. I saw Promising Young Woman. I watched Infinity Train, all of it. Really fun show. It's a cartoon. It's on HBO Max currently. I watched the Jules special episode for Euphoria, and I just loved it to pieces. It's like a COVID kind of one-on-one mostly episode, just like the Rue one that they did. And it's just a conversation, and this Sam Levinson, I think, kind of excels at that. And speaking of which, I also watched last night. I watched Malcolm and Marie, his new one on Netflix that was made during COVID, with John Washington and Zendaya, and it is an interesting film, similar to another movie I watched, but I'll get into that in a second. But this one is just two people talking. There are no other characters. It's just in this one house. You know, it's a COVID movie. Except, unlike Locked Down, the first 30 minutes of which I watched
was trash.
Fucking garbage.
I don't want to see any COVID movie BT dubs.
Boring.
I don't want to watch any characters living through COVID. I don't want to do it.
That's the nice thing about Malcolm and Marie is it's a COVID movie in that it's only two people in the whole. It's like a play.
Yeah.
But it has
they're not addressing.
It doesn't exist in a world with COVID. Yeah. To my knowledge, they just came home from a film premiere, so I don't think it's a COVID universe.
I'd love to get your guys' opinion on that actually later.
What?
If you want to see.
Down?
If you want to see content that lives that addresses COVID, or if you just don't.
There's a segment in this episode about how COVID will impact films, which ties into the topic of hidden gems in a funny way. So we'll get to that. So hold on to that thought. Cool. Malcolm and Marie, though, black and white, beautifully shot, really well acted, just very tense. It's just a fight between a couple, really intense. I saw Clouds of Sils Maria, which I had never seen, and was good. It's Juliette Binoche and Kristen Stewart. Kristen Stewart is Juliette Binoche's assistant, and Juliette is an actor. And it's one of those things where like the subtextual is made textual in an interesting way, and like the movie itself is like they're rehearsing a play, and the movie is also the play, and they're screaming lines at each other from the play that without realizing that they're saying their own subtext to each other. And then characters do things that they would do in the play. Like it's neat. It's a gutsy movie that does some weird, cool narrative stuff.
Saw that a couple years ago and I really liked it. So that's another recommendation.
Nice.
Very good movie.
That's fun.
I think I thought Personal Shopper was Clouds of Sils Maria, and we were gonna watch Personal Shopper, and then it said like horror, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll watch this. And then I watched Personal Shopper, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll watch this. And then I watched Clouds of Sils Maria, and I was gonna we were gonna watch Personal Shopper, and then it said like horror, My friend and I were watching. We like watch movies over the internet together, and then we were like, "Wait a minute, horror! I thought this was about her being a personal assistant to an actor." And then we were like, "Oh no, wait, that's Clouds of Suspiria."
It's funny.
Personal Shopper is kind of horror and her being an assistant.
Okay.
For someone else buying her clothes. That's a weird movie. I didn't particularly love it, but there is a horror creature at one moment in Personal Shopper, and it looks cool and creepy. It only lasts like 1 minute, but it's a good creature. Yeah.
I want to watch it, but I'm afraid it'll be too scary.
It's not too scary. There's maybe like one scary minute in the whole thing. The rest is just kind of like artsy meandering.
And then I trying to fill in my Denis Villeneuve stuff, so I watched Prisoners, which I'd never actually seen, and I loved it.
So good.
And then I watched. For 6 years, I thought I'd seen Ant-Man, and then I started watching Ant-Man, and I was like, I don't think I've ever seen this, and I've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp. But now that I watched Ant-Man, parts of it seem kind of familiar, so I'm like, funny. Did I see Ant-Man and completely forget?
Peggy Carter hype, dude, in that beginning scene.
She's in it.
Yeah. Gets me pumped every time I watch that scene.
But now that I'm going through WandaVision and stuff, like Sophia and I've been rewatching
plugging in the holes,
watching Marvel movies, and nice. Yeah, man, they tie together really well.
Phenomenally.
It's pretty wild. Okay. Hidden gems. Let's hop into it. 20 minutes in, here we go. All right, so the first, I only asked the patrons 3 questions. If you're interested in taking part in these discussions, join patreon.com/easyallies at the $7 and up tiers, and you can participate. And we did you get other fun crap, whatever. So yeah, what we're going to do first is go through the patrons' hidden gems, and talk about them if we know about them. Everyone's comments are pretty long, so I might try to shorten them a little bit as we go. So apologies if I stumble. And then we will go through our own personal hidden gems before wrapping up with what has COVID done to the film industry, how does that relate to hidden gems, and then we may have a quote challenge at the end. We shall see. Okay. Jeremy Ferris says, one of my top 5 favorite films of all time is Wizards by Ralph Bakshi.
Wizards.
Complete hidden gem, especially for when it came out. It opened a couple weeks before Star Wars and then just got buried by it. It's
cool. Never heard of it.
It's about 2 warring wizard brothers, Avatar and Black Wolf. I've seen this. It's animated, bonkers, weird-ass movie, and they, if I'm not mistaken, they ran out of money.
Oh, shit.
And then had to use, stock footage as backgrounds, and they use, weird, old, war footage and stuff.
The tagline for the movie is already a 10 out of 10. In epic fantasy of peace and magic. I'm so into it, dude.
I think I've seen this.
In general, he makes middling to good to great movies. So, animation wise, Wizards, American Pop is pretty good.
Yeah.
Was that the cool Lord of the Rings? Was it, or the
I think
the
that
Hobbit?
was him. I think that was also
he
him.
did Cool World. Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny because
Cool World is probably the least good of any of them.
I need to rewatch Cool World. I loved. I mean, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is one of my favorite movies, and I watched it and then I watched Cool World back as a kid, and I was like, well, this is weird.
Get to see a 22-year-old Brad Pitt in his first leading man role, just completely trip and fall on his face. Yeah.
This kind of animation is weird because I find it rides the line, and I'm sure we'll get into it when we talk about Alice and stuff in a minute, but it rides the line of being so purely unsettling that sometimes I can't tell if I'm am I loving this or totally skeeved out by this right now?
I think a lot of the stuff was rotoscoped in a very old style of rotoscoping. It was just line drawing rotoscope off of. They did a lot of stock footage, and
Monterey Pop feels, I think, for sure. Yeah. It's wild. Matthew, have you seen this? I think you'd like it.
Monterey Pop.
I don't think I've seen Monterey Pop, but I think I've
American
seen Wizards.
Pop.
Oh, sorry.
Wizards.
American Pop.
Sorry, yeah. I said the wrong thing.
Monterey
I said the
Pop,
wrong
dude.
thing.
I said I've seen that.
Yeah, the wrong thing. American Pop. American Pop.
So Wizards, they ride these weird little ostrichy things, right?
Yeah.
Am I think? Okay, I've seen that. It kind of has like
the one.
joust feelings or something. Okay, yeah, I've seen that, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, I saw it as a teenager. Samuel Cardwell says, "Look both ways." They've got 4 for us here, so I'm gonna zip through them. Look Both Ways from 2005, Australian ensemble drama, which is beautifully acted and extremely evocative of a hot Australian summer. Good Vibrations from 2013, possibly the only good film ever to be made about Northern Ireland during the Troubles.
Dude, I'm watching Dairy Girls right now. It's set during the Troubles. Comedy.
Really?
Super funny. Shout out.
They say it's good largely because it isn't about the Troubles. It's a true story of a local legend, Terry Hooley, who ran a record shop in Belfast in the 70s and was responsible for promoting the local punk scene, which seems cool.
Cool.
Free Fire from 2016.
What was that name of that one? Sorry.
Good Vibrations.
Good Vibrations, dude. Cool.
Free Fire from 2016.
Free Fire from Wheatley, is it Wheatley?
I think so.
I don't know.
I always want to watch this movie, dude.
I've never seen it.
I always want to watch it.
It's a film basically 5 minutes of setup followed by 85 minutes of gunfire, and it works remarkably well. That sounds great.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah, that's Wheatley.
Yep.
Oh, the Field in
I was working my way
up.
up through his filmography, and I haven't gotten there yet, dude. I want to watch that movie so bad.
I've always wanted to see A Field in England. I didn't know about this movie, though. That sounds cool. And then finally, not a real hidden gem, but they don't think enough people saw Stan and Ollie from 2018. Which
Laurel and Hardy, right?
Steve Coogan and John C. Reilly. Yeah, I think that's the one. I remember seeing a trailer for it. It looked cute, and then I think I just didn't see it.
That was a good list. I like that. Good Vibrations.
I haven't seen any of those. Have any of you seen any of those?
I did see Stan and Ollie. I liked it. It didn't like stick out in my mind, but I did see it when it came through like festival circuit. And then Free Fire, I think I've seen. It's one of those Ant-Man things to me. I think I've seen this movie.
You've seen most movies.
I have.
My money would be on if you think you've seen it. You've probably seen it.
I didn't have any notes on it, so I did go through like 4 years of notes to make my list. So I did not have any
Letterboxd reviews. Tyler Keaton.
I really
my
want
favorite
to watch
film.
Good Vibrations now, like badly.
Well, write it down.
Yep, writing that one down.
When I was in,
we should be recording this or something. I don't know.
When I was in Dublin, I was near the Irish Film Institute, and then I kept hearing people say like they would recommend like, "Oh, you got to see this movie. It's an Irish film." There's like 2 syllables in film when you say an island. They're like, "It was an Irish film."
Nice.
Yeah, that's all.
Not Ireland, but Scotland. My dad loved Scotland, and one of his favorite movies was Local Hero. And so he had actually traveled through Scotland a few years before he died, and they went to the town that it was mostly filmed in. And before COVID struck, my friend Reed and I were actually going to go there too and like retrace the steps of that trip and stuff. And then COVID happened.
Damn it.
But because of my dad's love for Scotland and Wales and stuff, I got like hella into The Prisoner and like.
The Prisoner is amazing. That's one of the best.
The Prisoner is so
ever
good.
Put to film.
That's a hidden gem.
I think so. Yeah, it's such a good show.
If you can get your hands on the 60s Prisoner, chef's kiss. Patrick McGoohan had to go into hiding afterwards because people were so bugaboo about the way it ended. Love that. Tyler Keaton, my favorite film of all time, is a bit of a hidden gem. An animated film, It's Such a Beautiful Day. It was originally made in 3 separate pieces before being compiled into a complete package. It's a brief, contemplative, and darkly comedic film about a man with an unspecified neural condition who slowly loses his memory and perception, and in the process of becoming less connected with reality, learns to better appreciate the world.
Dude.
You can find it on Vimeo. That sounds great. I'd not even heard of that before.
That sounds amazing.
It sounds kind of like Soul a little bit. Just learning to appreciate the little things.
The little ones. Sorry.
What is that from?
Boromir, dude. They took the little ones.
They took the little ones. Or did you just recently watch the extended cut of Boromir? Alexander Zirinov.
Sean Bean, elusive target.
Yeah.
Sean Bean, dude.
In Russia, getting access even to popular movies is problematic. Avengers Endgame, The Gentleman, Knives Out, Onward, and many other films were never released on DVD or Blu-ray, and they're only available on streaming services. And there are a bunch of movies and TV shows that aren't available even on streaming services like The Mandalorian. Not to mention films that are banned, like The Death of Stalin, since there's no way to tell what will be released and what will not. I consider every good movie that I was able to watch a hidden gem. I like that.
Nice.
I mean, I wish you could have access to movies.
But lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah,
right there.
lemonade out of lemons for sure. Good outlook. James Davey, a film that I believe to be a hidden gem is The Cooler from 2003.
Yo, dude.
I've seen The Cooler, dude.
William H. Macy, right?
William H. Macy's penis, yeah. Alec Baldwin.
I wasn't
going to
say
Bella.
it, but yes.
No, yeah, that movie's really good.
My dad and I use that term all the time. Like,
really?
He's a cooler.
A cooler?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a cooler is someone, I don't know if this is real or not, but like in the movie, employed by this casino to like make people lose. He's got just like terrible luck until he doesn't.
Love that movie.
It's a really good movie. Bram. Two of my favorite movies are definitely hidden gems. Waking Life by Richard Linklater, which I've saved. We all seen that one? It's pretty good.
I have. I like the Scanner Darkly rotoscope
I think I liked,
movie that he did. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I also preferred Scanner Darkly, but they're both really cool. Yeah, both kind of just philosophical things. And then this one's for you, boys. You were talking about good old Jan Švankmajer.
Yes. Jan Švankmajer.
The other tip I have for you guys is Alice, an adaptation of Alice in Wonderland made with stop motion, claymation, and puppetry. I believe the whole movie was filmed in a giant house, and it's one of those I can't believe they made it for children movies because it's real freaky and the animals are stuffed animals and toys and fake teeth and real good appetizer for Halloween. But yeah, you guys were singing your love of good old Švankmajer.
A truly creative visionary in some of the most disturbing ways ever. Like stop motion animation of raw meat, teeth, all kinds of weird stuff that like you don't really want to see. Also, like narrative is, he's pretty strong. He like Alice. He did Meat Love, which is like it's like a 2-minute long romance movie between two pieces of steak. Sold it. It's right there. It's all there. Like they dance, they fall in love, they they have sex, and then they get it put in a frying pan. Like the whole arc is there in 2 minutes. So I just wanted to put forth my love of Jan Švankmajer. I do indeed have a spray paint portrait of him in my living room, it's over there. I actually should have brought it in here, but it's over there, and I shared pictures. It exists. It's real.
Well, Matthew, you had a thing going with your wife about this.
Oh yeah! Shout out to Jessica, my wife. Well, I have this podcast called Better Than Speed. It's about the movie Speed, which is directed by Jan de Bont. And we have T-shirts about, Jan de Bont, and it just says Jan on there. And I asked my wife, like, are people going to get confused between Jan de Bont and Jan Švankmajer, the famous Czech stop motion animator? And she just looks at me like, nobody knows what you're talking about. Nobody knows Jan Švankmajer. I was like, he's a household name. She just rolls her eyes at me, which is fair. But
to be fair, most people probably don't know who Jan de Bont is either.
That's what I was going to say. They don't know who either of them. They're going to go, Jan.
She's probably right on both counts. But Tokyo Slim came to the rescue with his portrait of Jan Švankmajer, and I was like, look at this picture. People know him and love him. He's internationally beloved. So yeah, your listener is right. Alice is great. Faust is great by Švankmajer. I love his creepy stop motion stuff. It's like if Tim Burton had guts, he'd be doing this kind of stuff.
Oh. Shots fired.
Dude, question. In 2015, I saw Christopher Nolan. He presented his documentary. Have you guys heard of the Quay brothers?
Yeah, similar. There's similar vibes. Yeah,
because I've never heard. I don't know much about all that. The only reason I went because it was freaking Christopher Nolan, and he was doing this movie about it. And then I learned about these brothers doing stop motion. It was cool.
If you like one of them, you should check out the other. There's some commonalities between the two. Yeah,
cool.
I have. He is a household name for me, but simply because I've for my whole life been terrified of the movie covers of his of his stuff. Like the Alice cover is just her looking through the little door and reaching in or whatever. Yeah, I should watch it. I've always been kind of afraid. Like I said before with Wizards, I've always it rides the line of being skeevy to me, scary looking.
It's 100% skeevy. That's the whole beauty of it.
That's the point.
Yeah. It's unsettling. It's not scary. You're not gonna. There's not jump scares really. It's just super that's a thing that's made out of weird, gross teeth and tentacles or whatever.
It's Eraserhead. If you like Eraserhead, you'll like some of this stuff.
I like Eraserhead. I recently watched that anime for our anime episode, Angel's Egg, I think, and I loved that, and it seemed to have similar kind of feelings. All right, Tef, hidden gem for me would be The Borderlands from 2013, a British found footage film about a couple of guys hired to investigate strange happenings at a small town church. It came out around the same time as Above, So Below, and it got lost in the buzz for that. It's a low budget movie, but that just helps the realism and the tension. Sounds cool. They also shout out Cormac McCarthy's Sunset Limited on HBO, which I intended to watch and forgot to. I like Cormac McCarthy.
This feels like a great recommendation, dude. Thank you. I'm looking for great horror movies. This looks amazing. This looks sick. Cool poster. Oh yeah. That reminds me to get the shout-outs ready for the end of the thing. There we go. Dude, found footage when it's done right, I feel like can be so effing scary.
Oh, for sure.
Freaky.
I mean, I remember.
I just watched those Creep movies. Creep 1 and 2.
I never saw that.
With
Duplass.
Duplass. Yeah.
Dude. Good.
Yes.
Very good.
Atmospheric,
is he the titular
creep. Yes.
Yeah. Super good.
I hit Blair Witch hit me at the exact right age, maybe for all of us, where the bigger kids at my first job spraying liquid smoke on a paddle boat company's ribs. The older kids convinced me, or they all thought that it was real, because no one knew, you know?
Yeah, totally.
And so that to this day,
legend.
Yeah, the urban legend of a good found footage is still just chilling to me. It's
Hell yeah. Blair Witch rode that line of is it real? Did this really happen?
It could have happened.
You're 10 years old. Hell yeah, it happened.
And shout out to the sequel for doing you don't see that often when the sequel takes place in our reality where the movie Blair Witch happened.
Human Centipede did that shit.
Human Centipede did that.
Pissed me off.
Proud we are of all of that. Jason Wojnar says, "I feel Adventures of a Dentist," and then just a string of Russian looks like. So I'm not gonna try. Is kind of a hidden gem because when it comes to Soviet cinema, people often pay attention to what we now consider art house cinema or extremely tragic films and overlook a more seemingly innocent comedy. I can assure you this film is incredibly unique. It almost feels like a Wes Anderson film made in the Soviet Union in the 60s, including the cinematography and dry black humor. Several completely unexpected and unwarranted musical numbers pop up, lending to its quirkiness. Director Elm Klimov would go on to make Come and See. Oh shit, Sophia loves that movie. One of the most disturbing and tragic movies ever made. Yeah, Sophia talks about Come and See like all the time.
Cool.
It's like this horrifying war movie.
Shit. Okay.
Adventures of a Dentist.
A couple horror movie wrecks.
Oh yeah, war movie. I almost put Werkmeister Harmonies on my Hidden Gems list, but then I was like, yeah, who has the time? Robert Cassidy says, I don't think that qualifies Hidden Gems for the film buffs that typically make up this podcast, but I haven't really heard anyone talk about Wolfwalkers or Lupin III the First. And I just watched those, and they were good. Wolfwalkers is cute as heck, but carries some real weight without falling into the typical trappings of family films, and the art is just fantastic. Lupin movie is basically an anime Indiana Jones, right down to the Nazi punching. I have seen Lupin III the First.
Is that the Ghibli one? Is it the Miyazaki one?
No, that's Castle of Cagliostro, which is one of my favorites. This is brand new.
Okay.
This is brand new. It came out like last year.
Is this the CG thing?
Yeah.
I'm down for it. You know, Dragon Quest was in CG. It got terrible reviews, but I loved it.
Hell yeah.
Dragon Quest movie. If you love Part 5 of Dragon Quest, then that movie's great. So I want to see Lupin. It gave me those vibes.
I watched it. I liked it. I didn't think it was as good as Castle of Cagliostro, which is like, I mean, the movie's a masterpiece. So like, who knows? But it definitely hits the vibes right on the nose. It feels like Lupin. Like it doesn't feel like it changed anything. Like, it's really fun. I liked it a lot. Even down to like, it has all the classic Lupin the Third tropes. It's really fun. I liked it a lot. Wolfwalkers, I've seen billboards for, and it looks gorgeous. I haven't seen it though. Omar has Apple TV. Maybe I can have him put it on for me.
Dude, Apple TV holding so many great things hostage.
I'll just have to be like, oh me.
I have a show on Apple TV. Can I plug my show on Apple TV?
You have a show?
Yeah, it's held hostage there.
It's held hostage. I can't even watch my friend Matthew Walden.
What's your show?
It's called Home. And
your internet's crapping out. No. Plug.
Oh no. I blame Apple TV.
Your internet crapped out. You're back now. No. You're back. Do your plug again.
They censored me. They don't want me to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Apple TV reaches out and affects the podcast.
Watch Home on Apple TV if you want to see my adventures in Hong Kong and Bali. It's about wild architects doing interesting things out there. It's a documentary.
Nice. Yo, it sounds like
but you're literally.
I rest my case.
You're literally in it? It's yours?
Well, I'm not in it, but I produced it and wrote it, and then you can see me in some of the trailers for it.
How did I never know about this? What
I look like a total goober.
Yeah. This is, dude. I like watch.
It was the adventure of my life. We'll have to tell some stories after about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Every time you're on here, I learn some crazy new thing about you. Awesome. What? Yeah. Well, now I gotta watch that.
I don't have Apple TV.
Omi, put on Apple TV, please. Oh Jesus. Gabriel Roy. Last year I saw a film called The Miracle Mile from 1988. I remember my dad telling me about it years ago and something I should check out, and I finally got around to it last year. Holy shit, what an amazing film. If you haven't heard of it, it's a film that starts as a romantic comedy and turns into a nuclear war paranoia movie about 25 minutes in, and it's wonderful. I think the big reason it's not super popular is it changes tone, as is very intentionally and effectively changes tone. What? I must have read that wrong, but it changes tone.
Something tonal change.
Fantastic. Yeah, that sounds cool.
American apocalyptic thriller.
Yeah, my dad always recommended Manon of the Spring and Jean de Fleur, but then he would always recommend them and say they're really sad. Like my whole life, he was recommending them. I've still never watched them.
I love a good sad movie.
Yeah,
dude,
I want to feel sad in a movie.
Miracle Mile takes place in Miracle Mile. I lived there. Cool.
What, in which Miracle Mile? Every fucking city
in Los Angeles. Miracle Mile neighborhood of Los
Angeles.
Angeles.
Miracle Mile? Oh,
where most of the action takes place in real time. This movie looks sick. Some great recommendations, dude. This is awesome.
That's the whole damn point of this episode. Recommendations.
Be prepared to be blown through the back of the theater. 4 stars. Miracle Mile.
That's a humor bit right there.
Yeah. blown through the back of the theater, dude.
Like if you told me that Pauline Kael said that or something, I would quit the podcast.
There are 70 minutes to the end of the world. Where can you hide? Miracle Mile, the ultimate thriller. So
In and out.
That's a good trailer voice. That's a new Beverly trailer voice.
Yeah. Hey man, nice.
Cool 87 minutes. Love it.
Hey man, nice shots says, once I started thinking about this, it reminded me of so many good movies. So here's a huge list. So I'm just gonna blast through these. Still Crazy, 1998. British film about an old rock band. The Commitments, 91. Also about a band. The Machinist, from 2004. Christian Bale, yeah. The Way of the Gun, 2000.
Yo,
I believe there's a line in this movie that we would always say as teens to each other. I'll fuck you till you love me. I think that's what he says to another dude he's about to fight in a parking lot.
That whole parking lot sequence has like some of the most creative profanity in a film. Like,
they say some crazy shit to each other.
Dude, I used to watch so much of that stuff when I was like in that
me too.
era. There were all these kind of like in the wake of Tarantino, these sort of indie crime dramas with like outlandish dialogue, and a lot of them were like forgotten. But I used to watch like 3 or 4 of those a week at that time.
Me
a
too.
lot of them are good.
We were all teenagers in the late 90s. Like we were lousy with your Fight Clubs and your Snatches and your Lock Stocks and your Way of the Guns and
McQuarrie did. 45. Where the gun? Christopher McQuarrie. How crazy is that?
Yeah, dude.
Ryan Felipe and Benicio del Toro, right?
Yep. Yeah. Like, dude, but MI Fallout is like top 3 action movies. I don't care what anyone says.
Wait, what does that have to do with anything?
Christopher McQuarrie.
Oh, really?
Way of the Gun. MI Fallout.
Oh, sick. All right.
Same universe.
Yeah, fuck you. What's that have to do with anything? Take Shelter, 2011.
Nice.
I love this movie.
That is a good one.
The Ultimate... Didn't I recommend this to you? I think I might have.
Maybe. I'm a big Michael Shannon guy.
I love Michael Shannon.
Obsessed.
Who was also a guest on my Comedy Central show, Stir Crazy.
You have a Comedy Central show?
I just edited it. I didn't edit that one, though. That was before I jumped on.
Everybody has a show.
I know. The ultimate slow burn, oozing mood, and a sense of unspecified tension. The always great Michael Shannon plays a family man who feels the end of the world coming and tries to prepare as best as he can. That I feel like that's a trope that we could like try to do an episode on, like Cassandra Syndrome movies where like somebody knows something and no one believes them.
Fire in the Sky.
I saw a double feature of Take Shelter and Melancholia back to back in a theater, and it was the best team up. It was so good. I was so happy. Yeah,
was Take Shelter first?
Dread straight into my veins. Yeah. Take Shelter was first, and then
Take Shelter would have
Melancholia.
Take Shelter would have to be first because it would lead directly into Melancholia's first 10 minutes. It's perfect.
That's really fun.
I recommend it. Do it at home.
That
is really cool. I love shit like that.
Their last shout out is Rubber, that one about the killer tire that I never actually saw.
It's all right.
Okay.
Rubber.
I want to shout out Premium Rush suddenly because
hell yeah, dude.
Another Michael Shannon gem. I feel like that's a hidden gem. Not a lot of people have seen that.
We should just do Michael Shannon movies. I have several on my list. So.
Yo,
Nelson
that's
Van
an episode.
Alden, dude. Boardwalk Empire.
Michael Shannon movies? That's an episode. Count on it. Okay, and then Hey Man, Nice Shots. I left this in. I might have some things to say. I haven't read this yet because I wanted to react in real time. But last but not least, The Happening, 2008.
Whoa!
Hang on, I want to read this. People say this is a bad movie. They're right, because it's actually a brilliant piece of postmodern outsider art masquerading as a mystery movie. Either that or it's a movie created by a different species that has been observing humankind and tried to mimic our behavior and cultural products. Seriously, though, this movie is bonkers, and even after 5 viewings, it blows me away. On a surface level, it resembles a very normal yet flawed big-budget movie, yet it resembles human reactions and conversations, but everything is off in such a deliberate way that it cannot be attributed to poor directing or bad acting. It's experimental art. People were not ready in 2008, God. But it might just be the perfect movie for crazy and unpredictable time. Maybe I need to see The Happening again, but
with that context.
I have long held it to be one of the worst
Same.
movies I have ever seen.
Same, yeah. I fell asleep the first time in the theater, and then I tried to watch it again when it was on like HBO or some shit. Fell asleep a second time.
Like, I actively hate that movie.
Yeah.
The movie's garbage.
I remember there's a really gnarly death scene when everyone's jumping off the buildings, though.
Yeah.
It's a very cool shot.
It has some cute moments, but...
It's disturbing as hell.
I'm going to be honest, I understand where this person is coming from, because there was a movie I almost put on my list, kind of wanted to talk about it, think it's like a misunderstood movie of like rebellious genius. Everybody would laugh at me if I actually said this movie out loud on this podcast.
Now you have to.
Now you have to.
No judgment.
Freddy Got
I like
Fingered.
Pacific Rim Uprising.
Oh, okay. All right.
Freddy Got Fingered is a movie that was made because some douchebag at, I assume, MTV decided that in the brief 5-minute span when Tom Green was the most famous person on their channel, to give him $14 million to do whatever he wanted with. And that's what he did with it. It is a horrible movie. It is not good. It is offensive in pretty much every way possible. And that's kind of the point. Like, he just wanted to see what he could get away with for making this like horrible, disgusting movie. And it
Like a John Waters thing, then?
Don't ever watch it expecting like
Art.
any restraint, because there is zero restraint in this entire film. The thing that I think like transcends like regular like trash cinema in this movie, though, is that like there are brief moments where actual emotion like kind of hits you just for a second, and then is just wiped away by, you know, a guy swinging a fetus around by his umbilical cord or whatever, you know, like.
I think Red Letter Media did a review on it, which typically means they liked it.
It is viewable as an art piece, as a like kind of post-punk type of film, and I kind of get that with The Happening as well. Like, I think that when that movie came out, like, M. Night was just like, everybody was telling him he sucked, that he was trash. Like, this is not the first movie that he made after, like, this is movie like 4 in this series of like what are you doing? Like, what is this that you're giving us? And like, he's just like, well, I'm just gonna do a movie about, spoiler alert, I guess if you haven't seen The Happening, like plants killing people with like fucking pollen or whatever.
Treebeard, dude, let's go.
Nightmare Wind.
Yeah. And like,
With
as a person who suffers from hay
characters.
fever, like I felt that a little bit, you know, like I have to take some Claritin when I think about that movie or whatever. Like, you know, I kind of get that's like this. People keep giving me money to make these movies. I'm just gonna make something.
Well,
like,
now he's making
nuts.
the like old age one. You see the trailer?
God. I saw the trailer for. It's just called Old.
You like it. It's like a kid comes out and it's like, but you're only 1 year old, and it's like a 10-year-old or some shit.
She's like, where's my son? And then he comes out and he's like, I'm right here, Mom.
Yeah.
She's like, but you're 2.
It's so weird.
There's something wrong with this beach. Old.
I just wanted to say I support alternate readings of bad cinema. Get what enjoyment you can out of it, because
that's the whole point of
absolutely.
movies.
Yeah.
You watch it with your view, man.
I have a
Exactly.
signed copy of Birdemic in the other room. Like,
nice.
I'm all about it. Okay. Morgan Mahala has another little listy poo for us. They saw The Endless on Netflix, which we've talked about is great. They saw The Hunt for the Wilder People, which is a magnificent film, Taika Waititi. That movie's so good. Hail Caesar, amusing Coen Brothers film that maybe didn't get as much credit as it deserved. It's got some funny moments. I liked it. And they shout out The Disaster Artist. And, of course, I would add, see the original first, The Room.
Context is important.
Context is very important for that one. And they also say every Wes Anderson film ever. They're all gems. And honorable mention to Bad Times at the El Royale, which I saw and I did not hate.
I like that director. Goddard.
What's that director again?
Andrew Goddard, I think, did it.
Oh, okay. Miguel, my hidden gem is Lahane. And this is me talking.
Oh my
I've heard
God,
of
with
this, but I've never
freaking-
seen it.
With Vincent Cassel, dude.
Okay.
Holy shit, this movie is freaking amazing. My friend recommended this to me as a kid. this movie's gritty. This is a good one. I've not seen it in a long, long time, but I remember my friend recommended it to me, and I'm pretty sure it's like black and white, just like a gritty street movie, dude. That movie is so sick.
Yeah, it's an independent film credited with prophesizing the Paris police brutality riots of 1995 that Miguel wishes more Americans had seen, because the film's points about class and racial disparity are very pertinent today. Yeah, I've long heard of Lahane, L-A space H-A-I-N-E, but I haven't seen it. So that,
dude.
2 ringing endorsements for Lahane.
Yes.
They also had a personal message for the show, which I thought was sweet. By the way, I would like to take a moment to say thanks to both of you for last year's House on Haunted Hill watch party and for the Little Hope stream. Those are some of my favorite moments of the year. Great memories for me, and I'm so grateful for the both of you. Thank you so much, Miguel.
Yeah, thank you. Awesome.
Yeah, we did a watch party with the $7 and up tiers, and I want to do that again.
Had a blast. Let's do it again.
I loved it.
So fun.
Matthew, you should join us for the next one too.
Yeah, Matthew.
We need to. The problem is, I want to keep finding movies that are good, but that won't get us in trouble legally.
Legally, and ones that are like cool to talk through. It was just like a fun, we're watching this together type.
Haunted Hill was like the perfect one because it's a good movie. It's like a fantastic movie.
Apparently, laws don't matter anymore, though. So I think you should be fine. According to everything that's happening, like laws are just out the window. So I say go for it.
Laws are gone. Just do what you want. Jorgen Moore says Lake Mungo 2008, directed by Joel Anderson, which I believe is his first and last movie he directed, available on Amazon Prime, but they only heard of it because of a YouTuber, Chris Stuckman. It's unnerving, and it takes the concept of a documentary crew filming a piece about a family whose daughter was just passed away, and they believe there's a ghost, and it's low budget, feeds in well to that. Lake Mungo.
Yeah, I heard about that one. I was when I did my hit Halloween hard in 2020, and just like looking at you search like hey, any good recommendations. That one was like, yo, Lake Mungo. This one.
They say Huber would say it's a 10 out of 10, dude.
Yeah, dude. I gotta watch it.
Conrad, have you seen that, Matthew? You raised your microphone.
Oh, no. I was just going to talk to Huber about Halloween 2020 and ask if Mandy made it finally into the list.
Did you finally watch Mandy, you bastard?
It didn't.
Huber!
Damn it.
I know.
What is it with
nice. He's not going to want to watch it if you...
I know. No. Can I do it not on Halloween? Should it be
watch it
anytime? Okay, anytime.
It's not even a Halloween movie.
Okay,
Valentine's Day movie.
Perfect Valentine's Day
movie. The next time I watch a movie, it'll be that. I promise. I cross my heart.
If I don't get
I'm gonna watch it for my birthday. That's how much I like it.
When's your birthday?
On my birthday.
When's your birthday?
February 15th. So it's soon.
Mine's February 24th. I'm gonna spend it
watching Mandy.
Okay.
Mine's February 24th. So you're an Aquarius and I'm a Pisces, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know much about all that stuff. I just know I'm a Pisces and it's the best one. That's what I've been told. Yeah.
Sounds like something Pisces would say.
It's a very Pisces thing.
Do I need any past context before Mandy? Is it like
no? Just watch Mandy.
Did the director like start with something?
Panos Cosmatos or whatever?
Beyond the Black Rainbow.
He did Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Okay.
His father nominally directed Tombstone, although we all know it was really.
I guess we don't all know this.
It goes without saying.
McCready from the Thing. Why was my brain not working?
What?
McCready from the Thing.
Right. You're right. Jeff.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell is like secretly the director of that movie.
That's
like,
what I have heard that. I have heard that.
Nice.
But Panos apparently has the rights to Tombstone or something. He mentioned something like that.
Yeah, his
Tombstone 2.
Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Wait. Just Tombstone. Tombstone. I need to watch Tombstone again, man. I like that movie.
That's
10
like
out of 10.
that's the childhood
10 out of
like
10,
VHS, dude.
Yeah, dude, we had that on VHS
forever Tombstone, dude. Just
and
on repeat.
We were a big Silverado household. We watched Silverado all the time.
Good one.
The fuck are we talking about?
My clarinet, I took clarinet private lessons, Ian.
Yeah?
Silverado was his favorite movie of all time.
It's a great movie,
number
dude.
one, yeah.
Silverado, dude. My mom loved Silverado.
Yeah.
Can you play the Silverado theme on clarinet?
Probably.
Good question.
Silverado?
Please.
Probably.
Ooh.
That sounds like a bet.
I'd have to practice.
Next month, bring it in for the
Patreon tier. You get to see the performance.
I was always partial to Magnificent
Easy X,
Seven.
dude. Oh, okay.
Always. I love that song.
Classic.
I just rewatched the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes the other day, and I have a hammer dulcimer, and I'm like, I should learn the theme for this because I've always loved that.
How'd that hold up, dude? I like those movies a lot.
I love those movies.
Yeah.
It's good. It's
dude.
It's you know
They're fun.
It's like a 70 on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's about right.
Would you say they're hidden gems?
Some Guy Ritchie movies.
Yeah, some Guy Ritchie movies are hidden, right in plain sight.
I saw Revolver one time and I loved it, and everyone says it's the worst movie ever. But I remember really liking it.
I can't remember if I saw that or not. Been really wanting to watch In Bruges again. I know that's not him, but I feel like you mentioned.
Also,
what's his
10
name?
out of 10.
Yeah,
very good movie.
Farrell movie or
Colin Farrell.
Yeah, Colin Farrell. Yeah.
Wait, Matthew Walden hasn't seen In Bruges?
No.
You haven't seen In Bruges?
No, but I have seen Colin Farrell, so
Nice.
I'm gonna name drop that.
Okay.
I saw
Alright.
a secret magic show with Colin Farrell that my wife
wow.
invited me to, and Pee Wee Herman was there, and there was like these demonic magic tricks where they were setting ducks on fire, and Pee Wee Herman turned to me and was like, "Can you believe what we just saw?" And I was like, "No, I could not believe what we just saw." And Colin Farrell was there, and he was super into the magic also, as you had to be, because it was incredible. So I have to name drop that because it's one of the weirdest nights of my life.
It's funny.
It sounds like it would be one of the...
Every half hour with you.
I feel like you would love In Bruges, like a lot.
You would love In Bruges.
Yeah, you have to watch In Bruges, Matthew.
I like him as an actor. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I could remember the Martin McDonagh. There it is.
Brendan Gleeson hype.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Brendan Gleeson. Yeah, In Bruges is like I love that movie. Yeah, I feel
Time
like
for a
existentially,
In
it's
Bruges
a very
rewatch.
you movie. What?
Time for an In Bruges episode.
Yeah, dude, In Bruges episode, the fabled In Bruges episode. Goddamn. Okay, Conrad, last one of the user submissions before
Nice,
we talk
okay.
about our own.
We're back on the tracks.
We're back on track. For my hidden gem, I will go with Shimotsuma Monogatari, which is the English title is Kamikaze Girls, which is a translation atrocity. It's a comedy about a recluse and somewhat emotionally distant girl who, with rococo clothing that befriends a loud and boisterous biker gang girl, and hilarity ensues. It's a feel-good comedy about bonds and the same type of wacky Japanese slapstick you'll find in the Yakuza games.
I own
That
this
sounds
movie
awesome.
on DVD. Watch it.
Sick.
It sounds up my alley. Yeah, I need to
Yeah,
watch
it sounds really nice.
Kamikaze Girls is the U.S. name.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm hunting this down.
For a second, I was thinking of Suicide Club, which sounds very different from this.
It is a very different movie.
Suicide Squad. I think.
That's
Also a very
that's also
different movie.
very different from both of those movies.
No, the Suicide Squad.
Oh,
The.
the Suicide Squad. What is this? Some kind of the Suicide Squad? They also want to shout out Split Second, the 1992 sci-fi horror with Rutger Hauer,
Rest in peace.
and I Serve the King of England from 2006. Yes.
Split second.
Lily CAT. I copied this in weird, so it's just like a huge block of text that I can't tell what the hell's going on. So I'll just stop.
But, dude, a buddy cop sci-fi horror movie? Yeah, with
Which one?
Rutger Hauer stars as a burnt-out police detective obsessively hunting down a mysterious serial killer who killed his partner. Holy shit.
Nobody
Split
reads a
second.
plot synopsis like Michael Huber.
Dude, that is a plot synopsis.
Holy shit.
That is like you were saying earlier, dude, Huber bait. I gotta see this shit. Cool. Very cool.
New patch notes poetry is just Huber excitedly reading buddy comedy synopses. All right.
Cool.
So for our hidden gems list, instead of going one by one through all of them, what if we go round robin and just go down our own lists?
Oh, all right.
I'm gonna keep mine kind of short.
Yeah, me too. I'm just gonna rattle some off and that'll be that.
Well, is that better then? We could just each do our own if we're just rattling them off.
Yeah, I think that might be
okay.
quicker.
All right. If we're just rattling them off, if we're not talking at length about them, that would work better.
Not at super length.
All right. Who wants to go first?
Mine's probably the longest, so either first or last, I guess.
You're going third.
Okay.
Matthew
Fair.
Walden, go.
Okay, I'm going. I'm gonna go fast. Okay, I have some kind of popular ones in here because I didn't want to just be like, oh yeah, it's this obscure short film from 1932 and you have to import it and it's like 7.5 minutes long and no one's seen it. Like, because that would be what my normal list would be. But I try to do like meet in the middle and have some crowd pleasers in there.
Obtainable.
So one of my favorite movies of all time, people probably know of it, but I don't know if they've seen it or recognize it as good as it is. The Legend of Billie Jean. It is a movie from the 80s. It stars Helen Slater, who was Supergirl. And it stars Christian Slater also. And basically, it is like a retelling of the Joan of Arc story in the modern age. This girl goes on a crusade over a damaged motorcycle. And all she wants is her money back for the damaged motorcycle from some bullies, and it blows up into a national phenomenon. She gets on TV. They go on the lam. She disguises herself as Joan of Arc and like cuts off her hair, and then she goes to find like abused children and like yells at their parents and brings them into her like gang of like rebels. It's really fun and it's campy and it's sincere in that kind of way where you're like you can like laugh at the movie while you're laughing with it. It's got Yeardley Smith in it, who's Lisa's voice, Lisa Simpson.
Yeah.
She's a character in it, and it's just really fun. I missed it when I was a kid, and when Netflix first started, it kind of had a better algorithm. It was like, you will 99% chance like this movie. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot if Netflix thinks I'll like it. And I did. It became one of my favorite movies. It looks like an exercise video.
Yeah, it does.
Too much, like, let's see here. Yeah, so I was like, is this like a workout thing? Why does Netflix think I'll like it? It's so good. Hidden gem.
The Legend of Billie Jean.
Legend of Billie Jean.
That sounds
really
delightful.
fun. It's like a good 7 out of 10, which I think is probably why it's hidden.
And sevens, baby.
But it's a cozy, good movie.
Nice.
Next one, School of the Holy Beast. This is a Japanese nunsploitation movie. It is very skeezy. It is almost irredeemable. It is nuns in a convent who they're mostly, I think, lesbians. Yeah, and they whip each other with rose thorns as punishment. It's very sacrilegious, very blasphemous. A lot of terrible things happen in it because it's kind of like an exploitation movie, but it also is art. Kind of like in the way you were saying Tokyo Slim with Freddy Got Fingered, where you're like, this has some weird, grander ambitions. Like it's actually trying to say something despite being a skeezy nunsploitation movie.
Is it
you want to walk on the wild
anti-religion?
side? School of the Holy Beast. You know what it is? It's more about, I think, Christianity in Japan and about Western influence in Japan. It sort of ends up having like a commentary that deals with nuclear war, surprisingly. So it has some stuff on its mind for a skeezy little movie about nuns.
Yeah.
So, yeah, recommend that. Next one, Crawling Eye. The Crawling Eye.
That looks freaky.
That looks awesome.
It's
I've
a
heard
movie-
of this, I think.
It's a movie from the 50s, black and white. It's
Holy
a
shit.
movie about British twin hypnotist sisters, and they're in a cold mountain range, and then this bloodborne H.P. Lovecraft eyeball crawls down the mountain, and the only way to kill the eyeball is by throwing Molotov cocktails at it.
For real?
It is
Molotovs?
Molotov
How do
cocktails.
they get the Molotovs? What's the plot point of the Molotovs?
Scientists discovered that it's vulnerable to heat, and Molotov cocktails are what they have on hand. So,
is it like one of the characters' booze? Does like they're a supplier? I'm invested.
It's not quite that in depth. I don't.
Okay.
It's not a plot. It's not a crunchy plot movie. It's more like you want to see these people attack a crawling eye with some weird sci-fi sound effects. It's just cool. It's got kind of like its own outsider art vibe. Also, the special effects almost feel like a David Lynch thing. So, unexpected gem from the 1950s, hidden in a trashy, kind of campy sci-fi horror movie. I love those where something's not supposed to be good and then it's great. And I think that's different than so bad it's good. It's more like it's presented to you as if it's bad, and then you're like, wait a minute though, this actually has some really cool shit happening. So those are my main hidden gems. I have a stack of 20, but I really feel guilty dominating the airtime.
Dude, rattle them. Rattle.
Okay, I'm gonna go more. Class of 1999. Class of 1999 has Pam Grier and what's the Clockwork Orange guy's name? I'm blanking on his name. Malcolm McDowell. Pam Grier and Malcolm McDowell are cyborg substitute teachers in the future where gangs have run rampant.
Wait, is it a high school drama?
No, it's like an action movie. It's like imagine the Warriors mixed with RoboCop, mixed with Pam Grier and Malcolm McDowell. It's a crazy movie.
Is the line sit on it and spin, prof? Is that from that?
It could be. Like sounds like it could be part of it. Yeah.
Sit on it and spin. What the hell?
The next hidden gem I have is Bastard Swordsman. This is my favorite kung fu movie of all time. It's one of the Shaw Brothers like early 80s movies. This is where it gets wacky. They're doing all kinds of wire stunt work, but it has special effects like chairs just float through the air with a kung fu master, or they'll take a sword to a book and the pages will spill out in the air and it'll spell some secret message. There's like, it's almost like Gremlins mixed with a kung fu movie. It starts to get like sci-fi elements. It's just, some kung fu movies, there's a long build up to the last fight, and it's kind of boring until the final showdown. This movie is all final showdown. Like, it's all excitement nonstop.
Dude, watch Warrior,
if you like
Matthew.
wacky kung fu that's creative. Oh, I want to. This is one that you talked about earlier in the episode, right? Yeah. I think so, because I have that Bruce Lee box set from Criterion, so I've been in that mood lately.
Okay.
Nice. What else do I have in my magic stack here? Okay, I have one. And I think Tokyo Slim objected to this being a hidden gem. This is like a bigger one.
I love this movie.
I feel like this movie is well known, but whenever I ask people if they've seen it,
I saw a quarter of the box. I know what it is.
If I ask people if they've seen it, they're like, I've been meaning to see it. I hear it's good. So this is like a hidden in plain sight gem.
It totally
I think
is.
I think it's a generational thing.
Oh my god, it's hidden in plain sight. That's amazing. When I worked at PF Chang's, this older guy, we like started talking about movies, and he's like, "Yo, you gotta watch Sneakers," and that was like the one he brought.
My parents showed it to me. Yeah, my parents loved this, and I love it too.
I definitely think it's a generational thing. I think like our parents' age people, like everybody has seen Sneakers, and then like it's just one of those movies that just didn't like make the jump between like that generation and like the next generations. So
yeah, I don't see it brought up in like greatest movies lists all that often, which, you know, it's maybe known, but I think it deserves to be in the greatest movies list. It's a crime movie with Robert Redford, or kind of like a spy movie. Robert Redford, Dan Aykroyd, Ben Kingsley, River Phoenix, Sidney Poitier. It's got James Earl Jones in it. Like, everybody's in this movie.
Cast, dude.
Yeah, I would say for cast, it rivals True Romance in terms of just like all these big people doing amazing performances. It's really funny. It's like enjoyable caper, kind of like Ocean's 11, but it also has some cool spy technology stuff that feels very relevant. It came out in 1992, but it has these hackers like stealing money from Republicans and donating it to like college funds for African Americans. Like, it's got some cool rebel political stuff that still feels very, very relevant.
Changed.
Yeah. Highly recommend Sneakers.
The one thing that sticks with me from Sneakers is my name is Werner Brendis. My voice is my passport.
Please identify me.
The Stephen Tobolowsky is so good in that movie. It's like,
the thing I always remember is when I think it's the one guy's like blind, right? And he
Whistler, yes.
Yeah, Whistler, and he gets like kidnapped, and he's in the trunk of a car, or somebody gets kidnapped and he's in the trunk of a car, and he's like, they identify the highways they took him on because he knows the speed of the ridges on the highway, and then he's like, my favorite line is like, and then we drove through a cocktail party. And they're all like, what? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. That's what it was. And they realize it was like geese or something. And it's just so cool. I love it.
I think the sound stuff is handled better than the conversation. I know that's a bold claim, but it's just more enjoyable. It's not
the movie, The Conversation?
Yeah, than the movie, The Conversation.
That's on my fucking list. That's on my list.
We're going to have to fight. So... Sneakers is it. I got more, but I have to save some for future podcasts when you have me on.
Right.
I'm sure I'll shoehorn them in other places, but that's the top of my chunk.
I feel like half my list is stuff I talk about all the time. So I'll go now, and I'll just go real quick. Huber, you're going last because I made you go first before.
Cool.
All right. First and foremost, one of my favorite movies of all time, Upstream Color, is a hidden gem. Damn it, Shane Carruth, who made Primer, such a good movie.
Amy Seimetz.
Shout
out to Amy Seimetz.
They're like married now or something in real life. My friends are like their cinematographer or something. I met them one time. It was cool. So Upstream Color is just one of the best visual storytelling movies I think I've seen. It's so good. I love it. Next is Pain and Glory, the most recent, I believe, Almodovar film. Just really good, very personal movie. And then The Skin I Live In, another Almodovar, which I really love. Then The Handmaiden, not a hidden gem really, but just really, really good.
The recent The Handmaiden?
Yep.
By the Old Boy director, Park Chan-wook? Yeah, that's a great movie.
So good. This one's the next two are definitely hidden gems. I've mentioned them before on the show, I think, but the next one is On Silver Globe by I'm gonna butcher the name, but Andrei Zulowski from 1988.
Nailed it.
Yep, got it. He's
try.
I believe, I want to say Polish, but I should know that better because Polish. Because it's like a big part of like the cool thing about this film is that it's like a sci-fi movie. They're halfway done with it, and then like the government changed, and he had to like flee the country, and the film was like outlawed, and his crew secretly smuggled it out, and so then in the 80s he finished it by just filming modern day I think Warsaw, and just telling you what would have happened in that part of the movie, and it's dope as hell. It's so cool.
Yo, has that ever been done before, man? Like,
I don't know.
Filming a sci-fi movie or something, but like filming part of it in like 2010 and then filming more in like 2060, like we're traveling to the future or some shit, but like you film
people have done like temporal, like Boyhood or the Up series
Boyhood
and stuff.
For
like,
sure, yeah.
But more extreme as a plot element. I think
Yeah,
you're
as a
right.
plot
That's
element.
a cool idea.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Like
Let's
planning
do
that
it.
out on purpose, that'd be sick.
Let's do it. Dude.
The next one, another one I saw at the same place I saw in Silver Globe, but Phase 4.
Yes.
Best ant movie ever made.
Ants freak me out.
Dude, you'd love this movie. Oh man, they use real ants. Great soundtrack. I believe Saul Bass
directed it.
it.
Yep.
Is it the only movie he directed?
Yep.
Yeah. This movie's bonkers. They're
you
like
see the
puppeting
ants'
real
eyes?
ants. You see the ants' eyes. They're giant
Is that a good
ants.
thing
They're
or a
everywhere.
bad
I don't
thing?
like the eyes, dude. It's like fly eyes. It freaks me out.
But dude, there's a secret. This movie's amazing because there's a secret ending to it where they actually hit Phase 4.
A true ending?
And it is trippy as hell. You can see it online, but watch the real movie first. It's so good. Oh my god.
I think it was re-released a couple of years ago, and I think that's the version that we saw in theaters, because you and I saw it like the same day in different cities or something.
Yeah, I saw it at Cinefamily before everyone at Cinefamily turned out to be a skeezy bastard. And that was a great experience in the theater though, because like they had Phase 4 on film, like on its own reel, and they showed it after the movie, and then we were talking about it for a while, and then the dude just goes like, "Fuck it, let's watch that again." And then they just played it again. It was fun. Okay, I need to speed up. Next is Tangerine, really good semi hidden gem about two trans people in LA. Next is Coherence.
I have to say something about Tangerine.
Say something
is this
about
the Florida Project person?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I started watching Tangerine, and again, this is a case where I was being judgmental about the filmmakers. I thought that the filmmaker didn't know much about the subject and was maybe doing some kind of caricature. But then I got a job on the street that the movie takes place, and there are a lot of people who I think, I guess, sex workers who show up in the movie, who are just like. They're in the street all the time, and I realized like, oh, this movie was very accurate, and like I just did not get a good read on it. So I've been meaning to go back after having worked in that neighborhood for a year and kind of like getting to know some of the like regular people who would show up on the street and being like, oh, that's what Tangerine was going for. So
yeah, it's really interesting because like it's by that donut shop, which I now think is Trejo's Coffee and Donuts or something.
Yeah, exactly on that corner is where I work.
Exactly on that corner, and so like I drive by that all the time if I'm going up to like Hollywood or something.
Got my haircut over there.
Well, I totally trust your opinion.
How long
on it,
ago?
So I gotta give it another shot.
It's good. I liked it because it shows you like kind of a different life experience from mine own. Anyway, next up is a movie I talk about all the time, Coherence. Just a really great, really low budget, cool, thoughtful noodle scratcher kind of sci-fi weird movie. Real cool. Next is a couple of Jarmusch movies, which is like sort of a hidden gem maybe for a lot of people, but Only Lovers Left Alive is a vampire chill out movie, and then Mystery Train is a triptych that's just the vibes of it are just so great. I love Mystery Train. Then Holy Motors, a real weird crazy movie about acting, I guess. Borgman, which we talked about in episode I think 3 of this very podcast.
That was an early episode.
Yeah, grown
Borgman.
up fucking Borgman. I made Huber watch Borgman.
It was homework assignment.
It was a homework assignment. We had homework assignments back then.
Is this why Huber won't watch movies that we recommend
This
to
is
him
probably
anymore?
why Huber won't watch movies I recommend to him anymore. He won't watch Patriot.
I like Borgman.
He won't watch Mandy. It's all Borgman's fault. Let the Right One In, the original.
Dope.
The American one I think is called Let Me In. I think I never saw it.
Yeah.
Great vampire movie. One of those movies where like I was thinking about it and then like hours later thought about the ending more and it completely recontextualized the entire movie. Love that. Cachet, Hanukkah movie that I love. Titus by Julie Taymor. Real weird movie. Titus
good.
Andronicus. Love that movie.
I think that's her best movie, yeah.
Oh, for sure. That I've seen. It's got Anthony Hopkins as Titus Andronicus. It's Shakespeare. It's like 3 hours long. It's real like
I remember the blue cover at Blockbuster.
Visually lavish.
Visually incredible.
Yeah.
It's got Alan Cumming in it. It's got
He's great. He's like a fascist in it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's
essentially
like a
Matt
Nazi
Gates
dictator.
or something.
It's a wild movie. It's really, really cool. Next up, a couple of Cronenberg joints, lesser known Cronenbergs. Existence, which is like body horror video game movie.
Right in your wheelhouse, right there.
Yep,
Existence is cool. It grows on me with every year.
rules.
Yeah.
Fun one.
Existence is great. Then Dead Ringers, which is just a Cronenberg gynecology movie. And then House, which is the shirts.
Two of you are representing, yeah.
I knew it was gonna come up.
I knew it was gonna come up, and I wore I think I wore this shirt last month too. Maybe it's like my traditional reaction shots shirt. Had to throw in Jodorowsky, so I'll say El Topo. Although Holy Mountain is pretty wild too. Failsafe by Sidney Lumet from 1964 came out very near. I can't remember the year before or after Doctor Strangelove, and is basically the serious version of the same story. Takes place mostly in one room, if I recall. This movie's fantastic. It's about the president and his advisors. They've learned of a nuke on the way, and they just have to. Or a nuke has accidentally been deployed, and they need to like figure out what to do to prevent a world war.
Sketch.
And it is so intense, and like the climax of it is bananas.
I'm surprised with everything we know about humans how are we still here right now? How has there not been just like nuclear destruction? They've been around
Skynet,
now, the weapons, for like 80 years, right? It's amazing that there hasn't been a full-blown thing. Like, living on borrowed time.
Yeah, dude. The doomsday clock has been like seconds to midnight for like our entire lifetime, and they've only been moving it closer, right? Last few here. Don't Look Now. Real good. Best last shocking part of a movie, maybe. Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia, which I put on here. I talk about it all the time, but you can't. I heard that they're releasing it in America now, but previously you couldn't get it.
I have it on DVD. There was maybe a window when you can get it briefly for like a couple of years or something, but
you couldn't get it on Blu-ray. I got the Spanish Blu-ray from Spain. Similarly, Kafka, Soderbergh's Kafka. I still don't think you can get in America. There was a rumor that he was doing like a re-edit of it, but I don't know. And then The Conversation, one of my favorite movies of all time, Matthew.
You get some good saxophone playing and
such
a conversation. Some hot sax.
It's a very dad movie.
10 out of 10 dad movie, dude. Conversation.
But you're right though. Like the sound, the way they do the sound in Sneakers is really good, and like The Conversation is interesting. And like I kind of vacillate on it because they do a subjective thing where they like literally change the recording to like recontextualize it. Which is some people like and some people don't.
If The Limey is not on your list, Ian, I'm offended.
I put Kafka instead of The Limey because I thought The Limey wasn't hidden enough. But
nice.
Yes, The Limey for sure, one of my favorite movies. Death Trap, Christopher Reeve, pre-wheelchair movie. It's really. I think Huber, you'd really like this movie. It feels like kind of Noises Off-ish. I think Michael Caine might be the other guy actually, but yeah, it's just a cool movie. Then the Guest, which I put on here because Matthew Walden, I think you'd really like this movie. Dan Stevens, very weird tonally. When you realize like it's a comedy, the first time I saw it, I was like, what the hell is this movie going for?
Oh, is this the one you messaged me about recently?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I did look that up. That looks good.
So I'd recommend watching it, then watch the Red Letter Media review about it, and then watch it again. And then I threw this on while we were talking. I can't remember what made me think of it, but it was like my lesbian awakening film for sure, like the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie. I fucking love that stupid ass movie. It's so dumb. That's my list. It was long. Sorry. Okay, it's your third now. Go, Tokyo Slim.
It's not as long as my list.
Oh my god. We have to go faster with these.
Okay.
Mine's quick.
I took too long.
Christian Petzold directed 2 films within the last 10 years that I really love, Phoenix and Transit. Phoenix is about a survivor of Auschwitz whose like face was disfigured. She got shot, so she had plastic surgery, and is like, she was beautiful before and is still beautiful, but in like a slightly different way. So she goes back to her hometown and like kind of like tricks her husband into believing that she just looks kind of similar to how she, like the person that he used to be married to. And there's like a plot where there's like going to like try to get her savings or something out of the bank, but she's really trying to fool him and trick him into like admitting that he betrayed her to the Nazis. So it's a good movie. That's cool. Transit also, like these are 2 heavy movies, by the way. Transit is like refugees fleeing Europe, and he's like trying to get passage out of, I think, I want to say like, I don't remember. Doesn't really matter. But he like takes on the identity of a writer that he found dead, and he like stole like his last manuscript, and is like trying to pass himself off as this writer because this writer has a ticket on a ferry out of this city or whatever. And on his way out, he like meets people and then gets embroiled in this plot with his other family and like falls in love with this woman. And it's kind of like one of those tragic, bittersweet endings where like nobody really gets anything they want, but it's also like very well done, very emotionally on point and beautifully filmed. Cold War. I know Matthew and I have discussed this movie many times.
Oh yeah, I love that filmmaker's previous movie, Ida. But I know you're a big fan of the follow-up, Cold War.
Yeah, black and white Polish film about to kind of star-crossed lovers. Again, nobody really gets what they want in this movie. It's very kind of bleak and sad, but also like joyous in the kind of like moments where they find their love in like life and living it. Even though like everything in their life is like shit and is like basically designed to grind them into dust. Ian,
the black and white's great.
Yes, and the black and white cinematography, some of the best black and white cinematography I think has been done in the last few years.
I remember that was one of the highest rated movies that year it came out.
Red Rock West. Nick Cage wanders into town as a stranger, gets mistaken for a hitman, embroiled in a plot to kill this, like, I think the sheriff's wife or something. Fantastic film. Like kind of weird, like neo-noirish with Nick Cage in it.
I think I watched this when I was a kid. How old is this? Is it kind of old?
It's like 96 or something.
Okay, yeah, because I remember the TV guide said in an SSC, which means a good thing to a kid. It means nudity and strong sexual content. So I was like, let's watch whatever this is. So I ended up seeing actually a good movie on accident.
Yes,
that was my childhood too. Just scanning for those letters, man.
Bubba Hotep. Bubba Hotep is Elvis and JFK in an old folks' home battling a resurrected mummy. Can't go wrong with Bruce Campbell in this role. He is fantastic. It's a great movie. Great. A lot more people should see that movie. You already said Upstream Color, Primer. Upstream Color made my list. Not going to mention it. You already talked about it. Headhunters.
Headhunters, dude. Yes. This is with Jamie Lannister, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. This one's sick.
Unlike the other movie that I can think of that was based on books by Joe Nesbo, The Snowman, this is actually a good film. It is. It is taut. It is a thriller. There's like heist type vibes to it a little bit. Lots of plot twists.
The movie's so good.
A corporate headhunter, essentially like a recruiter, like moonlights as a like art thief and like robs his clients until double crosses and things happen. And watch it.
The outhouse scene, dude. The outhouse.
You ever see Trans-Siberian?
No.
I think I have.
Like
I've
Woody
seen
Harrelson?
the DVD cover. I think I've seen that. Yes, but I have no memory of it.
Better Luck Tomorrow. Better Luck Tomorrow.
Man.
Not just Justin Lin, part of the Justin Lin verse. Mm-hmm. The first on-screen appearance of everybody's favorite Fast and Furious character, Han.
No doubt.
He jumped from one movie to another movie and
didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
Better Luck Tomorrow is so good. I feel like it came out and then it just disappeared and no one talked about it. And it's great. It's really good. I brought it up to people and they haven't heard of it. When I felt like it came out that week, it was like the movie of that week and then just vanished.
It was a novelty because grew up in Orange County, so they filmed it around there.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, sweet.
MC Hammer produced that movie, by the way.
Even more reason to watch it. Totally.
The Guilty. The Guilty, I think Huber would like this movie. This is a movie about I think it's Norwegian. It's a call center, like emergency call center operator gets a call from a woman who's like trying to say that she's being abducted and like being coy about it because the person is listening. Yeah. And then all of a sudden the phone hangs up and he like goes on this like, it's kind of Taken, but it's not like an action movie. It's suspense and like a thriller. Yeah. So it's a really good movie. Acting is top notch. Yes.
Fun setup.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Embrace of the Serpents is a movie about, it takes place in like two different time periods, and it's about like these people who go in like up the Amazon looking for this special flower that's a cure for a certain disease, and then it's kind of like an anti-colonialism, anti-corporate movie, pseudo like mystical river cruise. It's black and white in a lot of parts. I don't want to spoil anything, but in a lot of parts it's black and white. So there's that. Expect that. It gets pretty trippy, and it's a really good story. It's filmed beautifully. It's pretty long, but it is definitely worth it.
What's that one called again?
Embrace of the Serpent.
Okay.
Brother.
A
Beat Takeshi movie. Made
dude.
in America with Omar Epps, I think, is in it.
Yep.
He's like a disgraced Yakuza hiding out in Los Angeles till like whatever he did blows over, and then he like joins up with Omar Epps, who's like part of this other gang, and so like he's like a Yakuza member in an LA street gang. And the movie
dude.
is about bonds. There's a lot of bonds in this movie. Echoing certain parts of it, like kind of like Sundance Kid, kind of, you know, that kind of like type of like banter back and forth between the two of them, which it totally works out. It's a fantastic film.
Oh, cool! I love Beat Takeshi. That's one of the only ones of his I haven't seen. Oh, that's cool to hear. It's good
for sure.
Big Night, food film. If you like food films, if you films about food, Big Night is Stanley Tucci and Monk.
Tony Shalhoub.
Tony Shalhoub. Sorry, my brain today
it.
is like out there. The brothers who own an Italian restaurant, constantly bickering, arguing back and forth, and they like have to make this one fantastic meal, or their restaurant gets shut down. And it is a great movie. One of the best food movies. Also, Tampopo is on my list. I view those movies kind of interchangeably as far as like how good they are. Tampopo is fantastic, about a woman whose husband leaves her ramen shop. She's not a very good cook. She enlists the help of a truck driver to teach her how to make ramen. But also it's a movie that's like splits off in weird vignettes, like completely randomly all the time. It'll just follow like a person in the background and it'll like tell their story and then come back to the main story. But it's a beautiful film. Lots of great food. Fun movie. Banana Split is a movie made by a local guy here in Seattle, Ben Kasulke. It's his first movie. It's a kind of like a teen coming of age girl movie, but also like not in the way that you've ever seen before. Like a girl breaks up with her boyfriend, who's then going out with like some other new girl who just like shows up all of a sudden out of town and is like super hot and whatever. And so then like the two girls kind of get together and form like a very strong friendship, and or maybe other things happen. Banana Split, I believe, is on Netflix. I don't want to spoil anything else about the movie, but it is kind of a subversion of genre, and I enjoyed that.
Sounds cool.
You know, I love my coming of age stories, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Long Day's Journey into Night. I saw this theatrically with 3D glasses.
The 3D one? Yes. Yeah, that's the only way to see this movie. It's got to be in 3D.
I think that if you ever have the chance to watch this movie, like the first like hour and a half of this movie or whatever are in regular 2D, and then there's a point in the movie where he like goes into a theater and it says like put on your 3D glasses, and so you put on 3D glasses, and then like the last 45 minutes are just like insane first person like through this like nighttime. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's like it is an art piece essentially.
It's based on the Eugene O'Neill play.
Is it? I mean, it's very loose. This is
directed by Gon.
It's like 99? A very long, unbroken shot, right? Is it all one shot? It's the one of those.
The last 45 minutes is unbroken. It's a single take.
But it's like it's technically impressive. I know it's kind of been a trend lately to do these like, whatever, Birdman's only 4 shots, and we kind of cheat it.
Right.
This one is definitely remarkable, where you're like, they ride a motorcycle somewhere in the middle of the night, they set up fireworks. You're like, how are they doing this? And having it in 3D, it's almost like oddly like a spiritual experience, because you're following the character as their reality transforms. It's cool.
Sounds like
Enter the Void.
Yeah, that's a decent comparison.
I agree.
Not quite as intense, but good. Yeah.
Next is Border. I don't remember which country it's from. This might be Norwegian or Swedish or whatever. It is a modern dark fantasy fairy tale, kind of Brothers Grimm style. There's a woman who's like kind of weird looking, and what like not, she's kind of disfigured and has like weird teeth or whatever, and people kind of like shy away from her or whatever. She's a border crossing guard, and she can like tell when people are trying to smuggle things through customs. And her family and like her home life or whatever is very kind of like rednecky and like white trash kind of deal. But it turns out that she is like actually like a troll or like a like a fairy or something, like not a human person, and she doesn't actually realize it until she meets another one. It is a pretty dark movie. It is explicit in many ways, including weird non-human sexually.
That's all I need to hear. I'm
totally worth seeing. Totally worth seeing. It is. I think you would really like it. Border. Yes. Frank. Next up, Frank is a fictional retelling of the story of Frank Sidebottom, with God, why is my brain not working today? Magneto, young Magneto,
Fassbender,
Michael Fassbender, one of his very best performances of all time. You do not see his face for 95% of that movie. highly recommended. Also, oh God, sorry, my brain is killing me here.
They're hidden gems inside your head.
Your hidden gems, yeah.
Your hidden gems are hidden.
Domhnall Gleeson, Maggie Gyllenhaal, also excellent in this movie. The music is fantastic too. I think you'd actually really like the music part of it. It's just like they make weird experimental music, but also pop music at the same time. It's like weird experimental pop music. They play at South by Southwest, I think, unless I'm
in the movie or separately.
I think so. Also, I think also separately. I think maybe both.
I think I remember hearing about that actually. Yeah.
And it was weird because like, it's Maggie Gyllenhaal playing the keyboard at South by Southwest. And you're like, all right, cool. Huber is going to love this one. Tarsem sings The Fall and The Cell.
Oh yeah, I was actually going to put these on my list.
Great.
Two movies that if you want like just
Pace,
like
bro.
to have your eyes just like massaged for like 2 hours. The Cell is not what you want to start with, but The Fall is great. The Cell is a Silence of the Lambs-ish kind of, but also delves into like the psyche of serial killers and like what the inside of their mind looks like. Fantastic visuals.
I was obsessed with that movie as a teen. I would like draw, like I had like a map of the inside of my mind as like a physical place because of that movie. I was like
Vincent D'Onofrio is super great in that movie.
It's definitely one of those movies where like it has a showpiece and then everything around the showpiece is like okay.
Right.
But the showpiece stuff is real cool.
Sure. The Fall is a little more even.
The Fall is more even. Yeah, The Fall is definitely weird because I'm unsure if the little girl and Lee Pace were actually like responsible for the story or not. Like it's a little unclear if that is true or not. But the rumor was that the little girl like helped write the movie and she's like 6. The Fall is great. Beautiful movie. Tarsem, dude.
Yep.
I have both of those on Blu-ray in the other room.
Nice.
Romeo is Bleeding. A recent addition to my list here. Romeo is Bleeding it's one of those like 90s neo-noir gritty crime thrillers. It's kind of like in my wheelhouse. I really love those.
Doesn't it have like Mortal Kombat style X-ray shots in it?
It does not.
Oh, what movie am I thinking of?
I do not. Oh, that's
Romeo Must Die.
That's Romeo Must Die.
Yeah.
Romeo Must Die, dude. Kiss of the Dragon is good. Romeo Must Die is trash.
Gary Oldman and Lena Olin, Annabella Sciorra, Juliette Lewis, Roy Scheider. The title is from a Tom Waits song, but not based on Tom Waits at all. But it's like super gritty 90s noir. Lena Olin plays one of the best femme fatales of all time, in my opinion, in this movie. She is psychotic and sexy and like manipulative, and poor Gary Oldman just like right into her trap every single time, multiple times, just face first, right into her trap. Gets the absolute crap beat out of him, and has one of those bittersweet endings I really enjoy so much. That
love
it's
a
like
good bittersweet ending.
Yeah, doesn't really work out. The Skeleton Twins.
Yes, this is one of my favorites. This is on my list. I saved it because I thought you would talk about it.
Skeleton Twins, a movie where if you look at the cast, you're like, oh, this is a comedy movie. This is obviously a comedy movie. You got help me out here.
Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig.
Yeah, yes, Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig, as twins who like have kind of drifted apart over the years and come back together. I think for a funeral. I don't remember the specifics. The acting is fantastic. They both come with like their own like sets of baggage, being apart and like coming back together, and how like twins are kind of supposed to be more in sync than like regular people or whatever. It like grates on them in weird, various interesting ways.
Luke Wilson is in this, and Luke Wilson is awesome. He plays like the nicest husband in the world to Kristen Wiig, and she hates him. She's like, oh, he's too nice. But like, he's adorable how nice of a husband he is. He's just like a good dude. It's really funny to watch.
Like, this is like people who are, expecting Bill Hader to be like, Bill Hader goofy or whatever, who obviously haven't seen Barry, I guess, because Barry is also shows off some of his dramatic chops. But this is
that's been gone forever. Holy shit.
This is also a great example of that. Angel Heart. Angel Heart
De
is
Niro, dude. Nice.
Old school. This is like Mickey Rourke, De Niro, occult, detective, New Orleans, metaphysical mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Noirish style, kind of, again, but like New Orleans twist with like all the French Quarter, fog and
like the originals.
Yes, very much. It's a great film. More people should see that.
Nice.
Has a twist in it that's maybe been spoiled for people over the years or is obvious, but like still worth watching. Also, De Niro is creepy as shit in that movie, so like you gotta love it. Whenever like somebody plays like De Niro plays like a super gross, just like twisted weirdo, you gotta watch it.
Dude, so effed up,
totally,
so uncomfortable.
Unhinged,
yeah, I don't want to watch it ever again. No need. No, thank you.
Short Term 12.
Oh yeah,
Short Term 12 is a good movie. Brie Larson's one of her first, I think her first starring role in a movie, maybe.
And oh, what's his name, dude? He's so good. He's in like Get Out. And
every one of these, we're just like, and also.
Yeah. I forget. I can't think of his name. Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's great.
And Remy Malek is in it too, actually.
Yeah.
I liked it. History of myself. Like I grew up in kind of similar places, group homes, halfway houses, that kind of stuff. I spent a lot of years in those places. So this is like a very personal of hidden gem for me. It's very realistic.
It won't be a hidden gem soon because that director's doing Shang-Chi.
True.
Oh, and because we talked about it on this show. So
yeah.
It's been
skyrocketed.
Yeah. Good Time.
Yeah.
I didn't really like this one.
You didn't like Good Time?
I'm in the minority, I think. Maybe it was Parasited. Everyone was like, it's the greatest thing of all time. Maybe. Pattinson's the best actor of all time. I was like,
I like Pattinson, dude.
It's also a very intense movie, and it's not for everybody. I will agree with
How does it compare to Uncut Gems? Because I loved Uncut Gems.
I love Uncut Gems, dude. Uncut Gems is a 10 out of 10.
Uncut Gems is just a gem. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was the other way around because like I liked Good Time, I think. And Uncut Gems, I mean, we've talked about this, but it falls into that kind of category of like, you're doing this to yourself, man. I don't have sympathy for you. Like, yeah.
Yeah, at least
I like watching people fall apart.
Bro.
I think the through line between both of those films is there's a certain tension that is just inescapable and just amps up throughout the movies.
The Safdie brothers are fucking insane.
Yeah, they are nuts.
And Pattinson rules.
Yes.
Yeah, Pattinson's great. Cosmopolis, dude, he's just sitting in the back of a limo. That movie rules. Don DeLillo.
99 Homes. Anybody seen 99 Homes?
No.
99 Homes is Andrew Garfield and Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon I haven't seen. What the hell?
Michael Shannon is a real estate developer who gets paid to evict people from bank repossessed homes. Andrew Garfield is being evicted. Goes to moves into a motel, and then goes back to confront Michael Shannon and be like, give me my shit back or whatever. He goes, "Hey, you got moxie, kid. Come help me. Come work for me. We can make you rich, or whatever." And it's him being slowly corrupted by the system of the housing crisis, and he starts to make a lot of money, and he buys a house for his mom or whatever, and it's somebody else's evicted house, and they end up living in the motel next to them, and he's trying to hide his identity so that people don't know that he's the guy who's been evicting all these other people. It's the Michael Shannon's intensity always at 11, and then Andrew Garfield's he gets there. They play off each other real well.
Shout out to Under the Silver Lake, another Andrew Garfield hidden gem.
There you go.
Yes, I am a stunt double in Under the Silver Lake.
God damn it! You know that director, don't you?
I'm not. Him. Yeah, he's a good friend. I'm not allowed to say actually what I'm a stunt double for on air, but it is for Topher Grace at a certain point.
If we keep this podcast going, eventually he's going to run out of these.
Yeah,
I got a lot of surprises.
Someone will say something out of left field, and we'll all just look down at Matthew, and he'll be like,
"I got nothing.
I have no involvement with that." Okay.
Almost done with my main list.
Main list?
It's the only one I'm doing right now. The one that I love is a movie that is set up as a romantic comedy, but is actually science fiction.
Have I seen this?
I think you might have.
Batteries not included.
Yo, batteries not included. I used to watch that as a kid all the time.
The one that I love is
it would make me really
Elizabeth Moss and Mark Duplass.
Yeah. I have not seen this, but okay. I know what it is.
The one that I love. I cannot tell you anything really about this movie without spoiling it. There is insane plot developments that happen fairly early on in this movie. Mark Duplass, Elizabeth Moss are a married couple who are having some sort of tensions. They go to their therapist, Ted Danson, who says, "Here, go to my weekend house or whatever. Stay there for the weekend, work your shit out, come back, everything will be fine." They go to the lake house or the vacation house or whatever. I don't think it's on a lake. They go to this vacation house, hole up in there. Things are not quite as they seem. It is low budget science fiction. As we've determined, I am a big fan of this.
Love that.
And all the acting is fantastic, and it raises some moral qualms that some people may have with certain things. Quandaries, I guess. It's a moral dilemma, let's say.
I love a good moral dilemma.
Worth watching, worth not knowing anything about, go in blind.
Coming of age moral dilemmas.
Midnight Special, Michael Shannon.
Yeah, dude, this is a good one.
This is a fun one.
Adam Driver is kind of Steven Spielberg-ish movie about a guy who's trying to get away from the government with his son who
superpowered son, dude.
Has superpowers, yeah. And Adam Driver's this agent chasing them, and it's a fun movie. I think more people should see it.
I liked it. I liked that movie.
Amer is a Belgian giallo movie. I think it's Belgian. I could be wrong. I saw it a few years ago, and this is one of the things I took notes on, and this is a good movie. I should bring this up. About a young girl's sexual awakening in 3 different time periods of it's a triptych, but it's filmed in the style of a giallo movie. Pretty good. Liked it a lot. Resolution Spring, The Endless, Synchronic. We've talked about those already. Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead are great. Go watch some of their stuff. Manga, not manga, Monga, Monga, a Taiwanese 1980s gangster movie, kind of like a Goodfellas. It's like this group of boys from school kind of get together, and like one of their dads is like a gangster, so they like become like gangsters, and they like grow up and fight, you know, Chinese mainland mafia that comes in and tries to move in on their turf and stuff. Pretty good. Liked it.
Dude, watch Warrior.
Yeah. It's on my list.
Serious. Watch Patriot,
Holy
bitch.
shit, dude, Warrior, man, I can't get it out of my head. It's
okay,
like
last
session right now.
Last five.
Last five.
This is it. I told you my list was long, man. I had to.
You did tell me.
I had to cut this down from like 78 movies. I had to cut this down.
Oh my god. I don't want to give the impression that I'm not loving this.
In the Mouth of Madness. More people need to watch.
I was going to put that on my list.
Sam,
I just watched it. Like a month or two ago.
I remember you saying that. It's like, it is a great film. It is one of the best Lovecraftian movies ever made that's not Lovecraft. It's not really scary, like scary. It's a good twisted, creepy kind of movie.
It's fun.
Frailty.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good one. Was under the radar kind of horror-ish movies, so sort of sci-fi, sort of horror, sort of fantasy.
Why do I remember
Matthew McConaughey?
Frailty, dude.
Because that is his weapon.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey's early reconnaissance, I guess, like
the reconnaissance.
Like he made that movie, and then like I was like, oh, this dude's like awesome in this movie. I don't know.
Man, I want to rewatch.
Not to be confused with Fallen, which came out at like a similar time. Yeah, Denzel with like a demon that sings "Time Is on My Side" all the time.
Oh, John Goodman,
yeah.
True Detective season 1, dude.
True Dicks, bro.
It's been a while since
those first 4 episodes.
I just rewatched
fantastic.
it actually a couple months ago.
Season 1?
Yeah.
How's it hold?
It holds up.
Nice.
Holds up.
Nice.
The first 4 episodes I loved, and then like the last 4 are kind of whatever.
Pontypool.
Oh, I've always wanted to see this.
Excellent movie. Watch it. Another movie. I'm just gonna be like going blind, don't know anything about it. Just watch it. It's a fantastic movie. There's like a.
That's the radio station one, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And the final movie is The Little Hours. I think it just left Netflix. The Little Hours is loosely based on the Decameron. It's Aubrey Plaza and Nick Offerman and a bunch of like people in it. It is filthy, profane, like period piece, but like they swear like sailors. There's like sex and witchcraft and blood and like all kinds of disgusting weirdness happening, and it is a comedy. It is pretty hilarious.
That sounds cool. I haven't heard of it. I've been meaning to revisit the book, the Decameron, the Italian book, because I think it's Italian, because I read it. It's like this series of small short stories, like Canterbury Tales, and they're like during a plague, and the setup is these people are hiding out in a church during the plague and telling wild stories to keep each other entertained. Does the movie have that kind of setup?
Like loosely, yes. Like it's the movie is loosely just the setup. That is the setup essentially. Like it takes place in a nunnery or whatever. But they're all like weirdo, gross people. Alison Brie, Dave Franco, Kate McCucci, Aubrey Plaza, John C. Reilly, Molly Shannon, Fred Armisen, Nick Offerman, Paul Reiser.
It paints a picture of that cast.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds very appropriate for right now.
We're hiding
in the plague.
Very amusing. Yeah, that's all I got. That was my main list.
Woo! I need a bourbon after that.
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
Take a shot.
Splash some water on my face.
I'll keep mine very brief. My focus. That was great. I love directors more than anything. My focus was on directors' earliest works that so often go unseen.
Love that.
It's true.
But before we get into that, I just want to give a shout out to Dredd and The Raid 1 and The Raid 2. Yeah, like these movies are mentioned, but like they were freaking bombs when they came out. And like, they might be known here and there of like, they really like changed the game of action, but they never caught on like John Wick did.
So I've shown Dread to so many people, and I always have to like twist their arm, like because it's called Dread, I guess. Like they don't want to watch it, and I'm just like, trust me.
Yeah. People have this bad taste in their mouth from the Stallone picture back
with Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider ruined it.
Oh my god, I've never seen Judge Dredd. I need to see it. It looks ridiculous.
Yeah, right. Dredd's better.
Well, obviously.
And I don't know why this movie just popped in my head. I've actually been thinking about it lately, and it's time for a rewatch. Little Children.
Oh yeah.
Anyone seen this?
I've seen it, but it's so long ago.
Seen it. It made me feel a little icky.
Super
I definitely
icky.
want to hear your pitch on it.
Super icky. 10 out of 10 icky.
Icky, watch it.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of icky recommendations.
Yeah. We all love icky movies.
Yeah. Dude, so icky. Family drama with the lurking presence of a sex offender that moved into the neighborhood. Very intense.
That'll do it.
This director, though, Todd Field, has only done this and In the Bedroom. That's it. Never any other movies.
In the Bedroom was cool. That was the Marissa Tomei kind of drama, right? I think.
Like Sissy Spacek, maybe, I think.
Yeah. I know the movie you're talking about.
Yeah, Marissa Tomei. Yep. So, yeah, shout out there. All right. Denis Villeneuve, another really, really icky one, is Polytechnic, one of his earliest movies.
I haven't seen that one.
Dude, this is about the
Montreal... Is that about a shooting? Right?
This is about the Montreal massacre of a man who hates women. And this movie, I'm like shaking thinking about it. This is really, really hard to watch. Everyone should know. This movie is no joke. So intense. So intense. And that leads me to another one, Gus Van Sant's Elephant. Yeah. One of his earliest one based on Columbine. These movies are so intense, but like really handled with care, I feel like, and really well made, and just intense, dude. I mean, like
Elephant's cool. I need to watch Polytechnic. I was in a mass shooting, still to keep up the theme of like, oh, here's my connection to everything. Yeah, I was in a mass shooting, and then I think I've gotten to the point. It's been like 7 years now where like I feel okay. Like I want to see some movies about it just to get some like perspective.
Jesus.
But I think Polytechnic would probably be a good one. From what I've read and from what I've heard from you.
Black and white, short, just so raw, dude. So intense.
You know what's weird, though, is like I don't mind watching like violence. What gets me is people hiding and hearing shots, because that's the freakiest. That to me is what I experienced, because obviously I made it out. Yeah. So like hearing them, the stuff happens.
Oh no, your internet's crapping out again.
Oh, Matthew.
Go into the light.
We're at the
Don't
end,
go
Matthew.
into the light. Matthew.
Hello.
Yes.
Welcome back.
You're back.
Hey.
You cracked out right when you were starting to tell some crazy thing again.
Yeah, I think that's intentional. Maybe like someone's like, no, don't spill the beans.
There's just a button on your desk.
Save that one.
Yeah, you're doing it.
Like, this will get lighter now.
Okay,
cool.
Guillermo del Toro, dude. Kronos. Debut. Don't
see Kronos.
Read about it, dude. The less you know, the better of like what this movie actually is. It's sick. I actually, in doing this episode, I learned that there's a sequel that came out in 2010 to this movie. A standalone sequel from another director.
Oh.
Not as critically acclaimed, obviously, but like, dude, I'm intrigued now.
I did hear about that. I never saw it, though.
David Cronenberg was mentioned earlier, but I like to go all the way back to The Brood, one of my all-timers.
Mm-hmm. Brood's so good.
Yes.
It's so good. The little, like, short kids walking in the snow.
Yeah, dude.
It's such a creepy shot, yeah.
I love that movie. Horror movie that I just newly discovered, Pulse.
Oh, is that the Japanese one?
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. It's got some great imagery in it.
Dude.
Walking. This is the way they walk. Yeah.
This movie has like catapulted up now into like my short list of favorite horror. It's just, I love when a horror movie specifically is just ambiguous enough. That's why I really like The Wailing. There's just enough like, wait, what? How does that make sense? Pulse nails it.
Pulse is good.
Very cool.
Paul Thomas Anderson, Heart 8, love it. Just another dad movie. got.
Oh yeah, what's that guy's name? He's like a Philip Baker Hall.
Philip Baker Hall.
Philip Baker Hall is amazing.
As like the mentor to John C. Reilly. Really fun one.
That was the first time I saw John C. Reilly, and I was like, oh, who's this guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
He went to my acting school. There's a connection.
Sick.
Yeah.
Stanley Kubrick had every single movie. He's like The Legend of Zelda, where every single one is a 10 out of 10, an 11 out of 10 as far as I'm concerned. But The Killing, one of his early noir ones, I feel like kind of goes.
I haven't seen that.
It's
cool.
always. Yeah, they run
kind of Reservoir Dogs.
Yes,
it kind of feels like Reservoir Dogs. I don't think Reservoir Dogs would exist without The Killing.
Dude, like I'm always down for a heist at a racetrack. Every time, I'm down.
Got some good money floating in the air shots.
Yes, and Barry Lyndon shout out, of course.
Yeah,
masterpiece. Orson Welles, dude, Touch of Evil.
Yeah,
this movie. Super popular now, but it's my favorite film noir of all time. So, noir is such a big genre. That's the one I always go back to. That to me is the peak, the pinnacle.
That opening shot's hard to beat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the bomb in the trunk, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's so good.
Peter Jackson of Lord of the Rings fame, we know. But he
bad taste? Where are we going here?
Oh, bad taste? Oh, what about Meet the Feebles?
Oh, what about Dead Alive?
Dead Alive, dude. Just so dark, so disturbing. It's like NC-17 Muppets.
Yeah.
Feebles, out of control. Chaotic film.
Very unsettling, dude.
Yeah. Catherine Bigelow of Point Break, Hurt Locker fame, Strange Days.
Please tell me.
Have to give a shout out to Near Dark.
Near Dark.
Yes, that was on my list.
Yes,
that was on my list.
Yeah,
I saw you reach over. I'm like, he's sitting next to this.
Yes.
Bill Paxton's so good. It's my favorite Bill Paxton movie.
Oh, great pick for a Bill Paxton movie, dude. Yes, just
maybe
early...
my favorite vampire movie.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, it's on the short list of best vampire movies, no question.
Vampire's Kiss.
Yes, and then
almost made my list.
And then last but not least, I was going to shout out The Wailing from Hong Jin-na, but I also really, really, really want to give a shout out to his earlier movies, The Chaser and The Yellow Sea. Which, if you weren't convinced on The Yellow Sea, James Gunn recently gave his COVID quarantine recommendations, and The Yellow Sea was on that list, dude. Tokyo Slim, if you have not seen The Yellow Sea, you will love it. I promise. Yes, you.
Okay.
Who, me?
There it is. That's my list.
Fantastic. I feel like would you guys message me your lists, and maybe I'll compile them all for the patrons just so they can see a big written down list, because
Cool.
I want to watch a bunch of these, and I've already forgotten
This is a film festival.
Yeah, this is a goddamn film festival for
if
sure.
you were looking for movies, if you ran out,
for you.
You can write out the next 2 plagues with all these movies.
Yeah, damn, and you will be so depressed.
Yeah, a lot of heavy hitters.
Icky to the max.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip the other 2 questions about COVID and all that, but we'll go straight to the quote challenge here. Thank you, patrons. Everyone who wrote in. I loved all your hidden gems. Thank you to all of you. I loved your hidden gems. This is a bonkers episode. I loved it. So many movies I want to watch, and so many movies I love that we got to talk about. Okay, Morgan Mahala wrote up a quote challenge for us called "Oops, all 2020 quotes."
Oh no.
All right, so here we go. Yeah, this will be tough. And I actually have the answers, so we'll get instant gratification here. Number 1. Psychologically speaking, vengeance rarely brings the catharsis we hope for.
That is Avengers Infinity War.
No.
No? Thor Ragnarok? Why am I getting like Thor
Birds
vibes?
of Prey.
Correct. Birds of
Prey, even. Wow.
Oh, who says it in
Birds
there?
of Prey, even. That was Harley Quinn.
Ewan McGregor says it?
Harley Quinn,
Harley
I
Quinn
believe.
says it.
Yep,
Harley Quinn.
It's the last movie I saw in a movie theater. That's the
was
reason why
It was one of the last options.
It was either that or Bad Boys for Life.
Or Sonic the Hedgehog. Those are the last ones in the
missed
movie.
that one. All right, number 2. We're asking the questions, and the answers to our questions better be answers, but the answers to your questions are going to be my fists. The hell was that? I don't know this.
I don't know, but it's a great quote.
That's a great quote. I haven't heard of this movie. This is Gibran from Lovebirds.
Oh,
never heard of it.
Is that the
This is all the information I have.
Yeah. That's the Kumail and Issa Rae.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was a fun movie. I like that.
I started watching
You've seen it
and didn't finish
funny.
it.
Yeah, it's funny. I think it didn't get great reviews, but it was funny. It's a good funny 2 hours.
Okay. The next one. The narrative is one big circle, like a cinnamon roll, not a straight line pointing to the nearest exit. You cannot capture a man's entire life in 2 hours. All you can hope is to leave the impression of one.
Is that Mank?
Correct.
I haven't seen Mank, but it sounded Mankish.
I actually haven't seen that
Mank.
yet either.
Mank is good. I like it.
I really like it.
I liked it a lot. I think you would both like it. All right, 3 to go. 4. Number 4 is, in the real world, the power goes to where it always goes, to the people that already have it.
I don't know, but I want to give a shout out to Michael Clayton, dude. There's another underrated movie. Sick ass movie.
That car explosion right in the beginning is pretty sweet.
I love how they tell the story. It's so cryptic, and then by the end, it's totally clear and makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
I gotta watch
Can you read that again?
In the real world, the power goes to where it always goes, to the people that already have it.
The Lord of the Rings.
Project Power.
Return of the
Project
King.
Power is correct. I had not heard of
Tokyo
that.
Slim, dude.
That was Art from Project Power.
Professional.
Number 5, on the same theme.
Quote
power,
assassin.
Yeah, quote assassin.
Seriously.
Power just means a world where we're safe to be ourselves, to look like we want, to think like we want, without having to answer to anybody for it.
I don't know, but shout out to The Expanse Season 5, dude. That
Shout out to The Expanse Season 5.
Holy shit.
Did you finish it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to talk to you about it later.
Yeah.
I also don't know, but shout out to Overlord.
Overlord, dude. Yes.
Just shouting
That's
shit
a
out.
hidden gem, dude. That movie is
It's
so
on
sick.
my second list.
Hell yeah.
This is no second list. This is Cassius Clay from One Night in Miami.
Nice, dude.
All right, last one. We seem to have developed a fundamental inability to apologize to anyone for anything.
Avengers Endgame.
That's your guess for all of them.
That would be pretty funny. No, wrong. I never saw this movie because it looked stupid as hell. The tagline to this movie, I believe, is "He could happen to anyone."
Oh.
Unhinged.
I
That
think
is correct.
Yes.
I think a fun game would be name the tagline to the movie, and you have to guess the movie based on the tagline.
That's a very good one.
Because
For example, what was once in the deep is now in the shallows. What movie is that?
Deep Impact.
No, The Shallows.
The Shallows.
The Shallows.
A movie I saw in the theater by myself.
Oh my
Am I
God.
wrong to think that Unhinged was Russell Crowe's attempt to become Nicolas Cage? Just that like performance art, like meta kind of.
To me, it looked like Falling Down. It looked like just a dumber Falling Down.
Oh, I love Falling
But-
Down.
I
Shout
thought
out.
Falling Down was the dumber Falling Down.
Falling Down, yeah. It was kind of dumb.
I love Falling Down. I own it on VHS.
I like Falling Down too, but that doesn't mean it's not dumb. I remember even as a teenager when I saw that movie, I was like, am I supposed to like this guy? Like, he's kind of an asshole.
Totally.
It was in the
Am I
good
the
Schumacher
bad guy?
period.
Totally.
Yeah.
Classic. Am I the bad guy, dude? Falling
Are
down.
we all the bad guy? All right, that's going to do it. 2 hours and 14 minutes long. We made it. We made it.
Marathon. So many gems unearthed. It
So
should be
many
like a tally,
gems.
like at the end of Duck Hunt when it tells you how many gems you found. Not Duck Hunt, DuckTales. When you go
Yeah.
to the moon and collect all the gems, it's like, oh, you got $10 million worth of gems.
I'm
That's
not
what we
going-
unearthed tonight.
I'm not going back through and counting all these gems, but it was a lot. A million gems.
I'm going to send you my list. It has more gems on it that were not unearthed. So,
yeah.
Oh.
We have a shout out tier on Patreon, which gets you a shout out on stuff. And so here that is. Shout out to Elthanis, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, Caleb Togi Crawford, Nick, Stephen Thomason, and Dougie B. Shout out.
Shout out.
Can I shout them out too? Shout out.
Yeah, you must. You have to.
They're all so cool. I want to be friends with more of your listeners. Send them my way. Come to my Twitter account. I'm Sneak Door Beta. Come be my friend. I love being on the show and hearing from everybody.
We love having you on the show.
Yo.
And I love your Twitter handle because it makes me think of Netrunner.
Netrunner, the good old days.
No,
we used to play cards in person.
We used to play Netrunner in person like monthly at Ryan Stevens' house, and it was great.
Yeah, I think you called me a psychopath when we played Netrunner together.
Oh, I'm sure I did.
I am a devious Netrunner player.
You're a very good Netrunner player.
Breaking news. Joel has been cast in The Last of Us.
Oh, shoot.
Mando, baby.
Pedro Pascal?
Yeah.
That's a good casting.
That is a great
That's a good casting.
dude.
I am liking him a lot lately. I'm hearing good things
I
about
love
that guy.
him.
He seems like a good person in real life.
He was
as an actor.
He was on an episode of Stir Crazy. Check it out.
Oh,
Stir
cool.
Crazy on YouTube.
Nice.
I cut that one. Tokyo Slim, Matthew Walden, thank you so much to both of you. That was fantastic.
That was fantastic.
Huber, thanks as always. You are my rock.
You too, man.
Respect. All right, guys. Bye.
Adios.